Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. For tonight's football this Saturday evening, we see Brentford take on fellow London club Arsenal as the Premier League has returned after the international break. Brentford currently sitting mid-table with a very even record of 4 wins, 4 draws and 4 defeats from their opening 12 league games. They have won their last 2 Premier League games at home, which have come against Burnley and West Ham. Thomas Frank's men will be looking to make it 3 home wins on the bounce. For the Gunners, they come into this game with a chance to go top of the Premier League. 3 points will put them one above Manchester City, who are currently sitting top of the pile after their lunchtime draw at home to Liverpool. Arsenal's only defeat in the league this season was away from home, and that came to Newcastle. Arteta will be hoping that his side don't slip up again away and not lose that chance to go top of the league. These two have already met this season in the League Cup third round. The game was at the G-Tech Community Stadium like today's game is, and it was a victory for Arsenal. A Reece Nelson goal in the 8th minute was enough for Arsenal to proceed to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Brentford will be searching for revenge, but Arsenal will be wanting to win to make it 3 wins in a row at Brentford Stadium. So in this London derby, will either team be able to walk away with all 3 points? We've had loads of fantastic football today in the Premier League. From the results anyway, I didn't see any of the games because when you live in England, you can't watch your own Premier League games at 3 o'clock. It's just all a bit annoying, but there's some big results. Obviously, we had the Manchester City Liverpool 1-1 draw earlier on today, and we've had a lot of late goals as well in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, with the likes of West Ham turning it round late at Burnley to win 2-1. Newcastle have thrashed 10 men. Chelsea, Reece James getting sent off in that one. Luton have picked up a victory. It's their second of the season after winning away at Everton earlier on in the campaign. Brighton just about held on to their lead against Nottingham Forest after going down to 10 men. Lewis Dunk being sent off for Burnley. So we've had a lot of goals and 3 away wins, 2 home wins, and just the 1 draw so far today, and that was obviously the City-Liverpool result. So it's been a fantastic little weekend so far of Premier League action, as it obviously returns after the international break. And fingers crossed, let's hope that it continues into this game and we can get some goals. We commentated in the week in the National League between Oldham travelling to Barnet, and Oldham won 4-1 in that one. So that was 5 goals, and I'm hoping for something quite similar. To be honest, I want goals, and let's hope we get them. It's a huge game for Arsenal, I think, personally. If they can get themselves top of the league, I'm not saying they're going to stay there, obviously, because we've got so many more games. I just think it'd be a great confidence boost for Arsenal as a club, to show that they can get top of the league ahead of City and ahead of Liverpool, and obviously ahead of Spurs as well, who are up there this season as well. They won their last game before the international break at home, 3-1 to Burnley. Arsenal, Trossard just before the break, and then Saliba and Zinchenko bringing goals after half-time to give them the win. And just the 1 loss as well in the season so far in the league is pretty impressive. So it is it's a record that warrants really being able to sit top of the Premier League when you only lose 1 game in your opening 12. And it was no way lost to Newcastle. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Really, it's a really tough place to go. But they are without a win in their last 2 Premier League games, though. Unfortunately, they obviously lost to Newcastle and they've drawn to Chelsea as well. So let's see if they can end that little. It's not really a rut, is it? Two away games without a win, but let's see if they can end that today. I'll go through both lineups in a little bit more detail in a second, as I mentioned before. Chance for Arsenal to go top. A point for Brentford will put them top half. After, as I mentioned, a very clean record for Brentford so far this season in the league. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. Both sets of players are just in the tunnel, currently, as we're looking at Arsenal. And then here come the Brentford players as well. And we'll go through the starting 11s for both sides. And we'll start with the home side with number 1, Mark Flecken in goal, Dutch international. He did also feature in the League Cup third round game against Arsenal, where the away side came out 1-0. Winners back 4 of Christopher Ayer, who's got the 10 Premier League games so far this season and 7 starts, 6 of them coming in the last 7 games. 2 centre-back partnership of Ethan Pinnock and Ben Mee with left-back, usually a midfielder, but it looks like he's going to be slotting into left-back for today's game, and that is Vitaly Janelt, who was signed in October of 2020 from Bochum in Germany. In midfield 3, it looks like it's going to be a Frank Onyeka, who's only made 2 starts so far this season, and it's come in both of their 2 home wins they've picked up so far this season against Burnley and West Ham. Alongside him in the midfield is going to be Saman Ghoddos, who is the Iranian international born in Malmo, Sweden, and holding midfield, it looks like it's going to be captain Christian Norgard, who is making his 70th appearance in the Premier League, the 29-year-old Brentford captain. It might be a back 4. We'll have to wait and see how they set up, because I've got on the right wing Yegor Yarmoluk, who is a Ukrainian, joined last season from SK Dnipro for €1.6 million. He's usually an attacking midfielder, but he might play out wide, he might do a bit of a diamond formation. Brentford will just wait and see, but they've got the 2 usual attacking suspects up front. Both of them have played in every single game so far this season for Brentford in all competitions, and that is Johan Visser, who's got the 3 Premier League goals so far this season, and alongside him is Brian Burmo, who has got 6 goals so far this season, bringing in a brace in another London derby, and that was away at Craven Cottage at Fulham. So that's Brentford starting 11. The bench is just below. And by the way, I cannot believe that's how you pronounce his name. Premier League Twitter posted a video of how some players pronounce how they pronounce their names. That might be a little bit hard. And then Brian Mburmo is actually just Brian Burmo. That's how you say it. There's no M. It's just Burmo. It's a silent M, which just messed with my head a bit, because no one ever says anything else other than Mburmo or Mbremo. Everyone always pronounces the M. So it was just a bit of a shock to hear that it's actually just Brian Burmo. But he will lead the line for Brentford, as obviously Ivan Toney is still out for the home side. And the away side starts as this: Aaron Ramsdale in goal, as David Raya is out due to a loan, can't play against his parent club. So Aaron Ramsdale comes in for this one, making his 5th Premier League appearance of the season. 1 clean sheet for him in the Premier League, and that did come in a London derby away at Crystal Palace earlier on in the campaign. The back 4 of Takahiro Tomiyasu, William Saliba, Gabriel and Alexander Zinchenko, 2 of them scoring in their last game against Burnley. It looks like it's going to be midfield 3. Don't know how they're going to quite set it up. We'll wait and see. On screen I've got kind of Rice and Ødegaard more closest together, but we'll have to wait and see how it will all play out. But it will be Declan Rice in the midfield, £105 million signing in the summer from West Ham. He's played Brentford 4 times, Declan Rice, and he has lost every single time. Alongside him, it looks like it's going to be Martin Ødegaard, with the only game he missed last season, out completely out of the matchday squad, was Brentford away in game week 8, but he'll be here today to play Brentford. He did feature in the League Cup game against them earlier on this season. And alongside them is going to be Leandro Trossard, whose only goal last season for Arsenal did come in against Brentford in the Premier League in February in their 1-1 draw at the Emirates. And the usual front 3 for Arsenal, it is Bukayo Saka, who's making 147th Premier League appearance, 197th for Arsenal. So he's creeping up to a few landmarks and appearances for Arsenal. He plays with 4 goals and 4 assists so far in the Premier League this season. On the left is going to be Brazilian Gabriel Martinelli. He's only got the 1 goal so far this season, 0 in his last 4. And at this time last season, Gabriel Martinelli had 5 Premier League goals, but just the 1 so far this season. And he's making his 145th Arsenal appearance. And leading the line, another Brazilian, 4-time Premier League winner, and it's Gabriel Jesus. Again, lacking the goals, just the 1 so far this season in the Premier League. It's Manchester United, but does have 3 in the Champions League against each of their opponents that they've got in their group, against PSV, Lens and Sevilla. So they're the 2 starting 11s. The benches are down below. And let's get this game underway. It's a London derby. It's at the G-Tech Community Stadium, where Arsenal have come and won here the last 2 times they've played. The dogs are going to start barking. I apologise. I've got people entering the house. As Tim Robinson is the referee, as well. He's refed one Arsenal game so far this season, and it was their 5-0 home win against Sheffield United at the back end of October, where Nketiah scored a hat-trick. So Brentford in their red and white shirts and black shorts and black socks, with Arsenal in their light green strip with their black shorts. Who will take the 3 points? Can Arsenal go top of the league? We'll wait and see. It's Arsenal to kick off, kicking right to left. Brentford left to right. Ramsdale sending it up the field, midway side the Brentford half. It's brought down here by Martinelli with his right foot, then to Rice, who goes out to the left towards Zinchenko, met by a strong challenge of Godos. And it'll be a throw-in for the Gunners on the halfway line here with Ukrainian international Alexander Zinchenko. I do apologise. It will go away. Zinchenko receives the lay back from Ødegaard from the throw-in. He's been forced back into his own half here with Gabriel into the 18-yard box with Ramsdale, who clears it long down the left channel for Arsenal. Helped Tom, but then cleared away by Christoph Ayer, who cuts out a second pass as well, and it drops to Norgard. He goes back to his edge of 18-yard box with goalkeeper Flecken. Godos looking over the top for Brentford. Cut out by Gabriel, and the heavy touch from Burmo goes out for an Arsenal throw-in on this near side. There is David Raya in the Arsenal camp, on loan from Brentford. Obviously can't play today due to the game being against his parent club, but it does look like Arsenal are going to take the option up of purchasing David Raya on a permanent contract. That's a £27 million option to buy for the Spanish goalkeeper. As Zinchenko wins it at left back, poor touch, and it's been given here to Yarmouk for Brentford. Early cross to the edge of the box, looking for Burmo, cut out by the head of Gabriel, but picked up here in the midfield by Norgard, who's passed out wide left. He's been intercepted by the head of Bukayo Saka, but Norgard will get there first and regain possession for his side as Flecken slams it forward down the left channel for Brentford, headed back towards the halfway line by Tomiyasu, brought down by Saka, hand used there for Brentford, and it'll be a free kick for Arsenal just inside their own half here. As Rice will play it short, just behind him here to number 2, William Saliba, who scored here last season in the Premier League, their 3-0 win at Brentford back in mid-September. Saliba scored the first, Jesus added a second half an hour in, then Fabio Vieira also scored the third in the second half. Midway side of the Brentford half is Martinelli on this near side. He's got everything to his right here, and he'll play it inside a square past to Trossard, who's getting away from one challenge of Onyeka, but I think the second challenge from Christopher Ayer was a little bit too strong for Tim Robinson. And there'll be a free kick for Arsenal on the left-hand side. Just spinning away from Ayer, and Trossard was almost going down as Ayer was going towards him, so I think he's a little bit unfortunate there, the Norwegian 6'6" defender. But the free kick's been given to Arsenal here. Left-hand side. About 30 so yards out, so definitely an angle, a great angle to get the cross into the 18-yard box. They're just going to have to beat the high line of Brentford, who are set up on the 18-yard line. Leandro Trossard for Arsenal, he stood over it alongside Martin Ødegaard. I think the Belgians just walked away, and it'll be left for Arsenal's captain, Martin Ødegaard, who's back from injury. Hadn't played any minutes in Arsenal's last 3 Premier League games as he puts a curling ball in, which is helped on by Martinelli, and it'll be seen behind for a goal kick, quite a few yards out there from Martinelli. His header, he was completely free, and he's timed his run. Oh, I don't know. It would have been close. He was about 8 yards out, more towards the near post, so he could have done with flicking it on, but he kind of got a full header towards it, and wide it went. It would have been close if that would have been given as an offside or not. It's just under 4 minutes in. No big chances as of yet, as Brentford have got a goal kick, and I think they'll go long with their goal kick. It'll be flighted towards the halfway line to the left-hand side to Yarnelt, who flicks it onto Visser. Ball inside to Yarmouk, whose ball back towards Visser was misplaced, and it can be seen out for a throw-in for Arsenal. Been taken quickly to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Declan Rice. Goes back to his goalkeeper Ramsdale, who shifts it on once more to the left to Gabriel. Forward to Zinchenko, who goes back towards Ramsdale on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's got no pressure on him from any press from Brentford, so he's allowed to roll it forward and clip it forward towards the centre circle, where he'll aim for Jesus, loses out to Pinnock, flicked forward by Norgard into Yarmouk, and Ben Mee, who receives it on halfway, just about shifts it away from Jesus, as he got in a bit of bother there, Ben Mee, kind of lost his bearings as he received the football. But on the far side, halfway line, is Christian Norgard for Brentford. Midway side their own half is Pinnock. Goes back into his 18-yard box here with Mark Flecken, signed in the summer for £11 million from Freiburg. Made 96 appearances for the German side. Got to the last 16 of the Europa League last season. Knocked out by Juventus and also finished 5th in the Bundesliga. So had a very successful last campaign. Mark Flecken, who made the change to Brentford, as they obviously lost their first choice keeper in David Raya. Just lost possession here, Brentford. On the far side, it'll be a throw-in just inside their own half here for Arsenal with Takehiro Tomiyasu, who's only played Brentford away from home. He's never played them so far at the Emirates. His previous 2 games against Brentford have come at the G-Tech Community Stadium as he throws it down the line deep into the Brentford half. It's headed away by Norgard. It's dropped back to Tomiyasu, nods it forward to Ødegaard, back into Saka. Tomiyasu again, just inside the Brentford half, runs out of pitch on the far side. It'll be a throw-in for the home side. You've got the 3 wins in their last 5 games there. 2 of the games in that run of 5 were 2 away defeats to Manchester United and Liverpool. Liverpool was their last game before the international break, losing by 3-0. Salah with 2 and then Jota with a third with 15 minutes to play. Flecken clears it long, headed back forward by Zinchenko on halfway. He receives it back from Martinelli. Pass forward to Jesus, who flicks it to the right towards Ødegaard, but Jesus was coming back from an offside position. So just 10 yards in front of the 18-yard area. It will be a free kick for Brentford, who went 6 without a win earlier on this season from game week 3 to game week 8. So it went on a bit of a blip, and it did include that 2-1 defeat away at Old Trafford, where McTominay's double in the 93rd and 97th minute with absolute heartbreak, which led to one of their 4 defeats they've picked up so far this season. Flecken, long ball high towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Anyway, by Gabriel. Godos will give chase and will barge Martinelli off the ball to win the throw-in for his side here. Well done by Saman Godos. And there'll be Christopher Ayer to take the throw-in into Onyeka. It's a poor pass back towards Ayer, and his tackle's gone straight into the path of Ødegaard, who finds Gabriel Jesus, who's been pickpocketed there by Onyeka, who gave the ball away, and he won it back there, the Nigerian central midfielder. As on this near side, Ayer volleys it forward. It's a bit of a sliced one, but he'll find Burmo, who tries to play it through to the path of Godos, who will chase it down towards the byline in the corner flag. Can't quite keep it in. Last touch off the Iranian, and it'll be a goal kick for Arsenal. Godos made a run on the inside there, and Burmo played it out to the wide area, and it kind of meant it was a little bit harder for Godos to keep the ball in play. It's not going to be a goal kick though. An offside was in the build-up, I think, as the ball was played towards Burmo. And it'll be Aaron Ramsdale to take, who did sign a new 3-year contract at Arsenal back in May of this year. And now he's sitting in as number 2 at the minute to David Raya, as his clearance from the free kick is won by Jesus, but his header doesn't drop to an Arsenal player. Now Pinnock is outside the 18-yard area towards the corner flag, clears it down the line, picked up by Martinelli for Arsenal. Great pick up of possession for the away side, deep into the Brentford half. As it's Martinelli again, everything to his right. He's not got much movement. He'll just play it to his right here to Zinchenko. It goes across to the edge of the centre circle in the Brentford half to Saliba. Forward and out wide right here to Ødegaard. Now into the path of Tomiyasu, who's got forward from right back, tries to play it inside towards Saka. Cut out there, I think, by Yegor Yarmoluk, Ukrainian attacking midfielder, currently plays for Ukraine's under-21s. The 19-year-old playmaker for Brentford, who picks up his first start today in the Premier League. As the throw-in is cleared in the end for Brentford by Yarnelt. It was a little bit of a sliced one, so it'll be headed back by Tomiyasu to Rice, who plays it down the channel for Saka towards the corner flag. Yarnelt tries to see it out, but has to poke it behind for a corner. Good pressure there from Arsenal's number 7, Bukayo Saka, forcing Yarnelt to poke it beyond the byline for a corner for the away side. Just under 10 minutes in. Not had any huge opportunities as of yet. We could get one here from the set piece. They've got Saliba at 6'4", Gabriel at 6'3". Bar that, there's not loads of height. Declan Rice as well at 6'1". Tomiyasu 6'2". So they've definitely got the height in there, the Gunners. As on the far side, it will be a It'll be a Saka in swinger. Bit of movement at the near post. Gabriel Martinelli coming short. Saka goes against using the Brazilian winger. Saka now raises the right arm. And puts an in-swinger one in towards the goalkeeper, who punches back towards Saka, who receives it with a chested touch. Plays it to the edge of the box. Trossard with a free strike, and he wraps his right foot round it, but over the bar it goes. And just after 10 minutes play, it's still Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. The away side of the team dominating possession. Brentford have done very little with the ball and going forward. But Leandro Trossard will probably think he could have done better with that. Edge of the box, free. No one around him. Free shot he had. Wants to add to his 6 goals he's already got this season. 6 goals coming in 3 different competitions. Scored in the Community Shield against Manchester City to send it to penalties, which they went on to win. He's also scored in the Champions League twice against PSV and Sevilla at home, and then 3 in the Premier League against Everton, Chelsea and Burnley as well. As Onyeka loses out in the Brentford midfield, it's picked up here by Martinelli, who goes out to the right to Saliba, forward to Ødegaard, who wants to cross the halfway line. He's just crossing it now, and he plays a ball out to the left to Zinchenko, who leaves it looking for Trossard, but it's picked up by Godos. It'll be Burmo to charge down the right-hand side here for Brentford. Trying to get away from Trossard, which he does do so, but tries to go round Gabriel, which he can't do, and then he shoves him in the back, and in the left-back area, it'll be a free kick for Arsenal. Won by Gabriel, given away by Burmo. Saliba on the edge of the 18-yard box, back into Ramsdale, being pressed by here by Visser. Clears it left-footed out of play. Throwing for Brentford as the clearance from Ramsdale has been brought down fantastically by Mikel Arteta there on the sidelines. In charge of his 199th game. Mikel Arteta tonight for Arsenal was appointed back in December 2019. His next game, which is Lens in the Champions League at home, that'll be his 200th game in charge. Currently sitting on 118 wins, 50 losses. Do apologise. When a sneeze comes, you've got to let it go. As Gabriel sends it up towards halfway line towards Gabriel Jesus, loses out to Ethan Pinnock, volleys with his left foot towards the right hand side, where Godos brings it down ahead of Zinchenko in towards the final third. He's got Burmo making a run down the right channel. He'll get there just before it goes out of play. Tries to go through Gabriel with a nutmeg, but it takes no deflection. It'll be a goal kick for Arsenal. Unlucky there from Brian Burmo, who is yet to score against Arsenal in his previous 5 meetings with the Gunners. He's looking for his 20th Premier League goal in his career, Brian Burmo, after featuring this time last year in the World Cup for Cameroon. Ramsdale in the 6-yard area. Doesn't release it. Drops it to Visser, who lays it off to Burmo. Cleared off the line by Declan Rice. And Visser misses out. Aaron Ramsdale has got away with absolute murder. The English goalkeeper. Hearts in the mouth. That is horrific Premier League goalkeeping. Mikel Arteta looks less than impressed. So the ball was given to Gabriel to take the goal kick. He lays it off to Ramsdale in the 6-yard area. Hesitates on the pass, not once but twice. And as he tries to kick it the second time, it's taken away from him by Visser, who then lays it behind him to Burmo as a free strike at goal. Gets it away from Ramsdale and then cleared off the line by Declan Rice. And the Visser touch goes wide of the post. Aaron Ramsdale, who's trying to stake a claim to become the number 1 again, is just not helping his case. It's so poor. He hesitates so much on the ball there, and he doesn't even kick it in the end. He doesn't kick it away. He kind of half goes to kick it and stops, and then Visser takes it away. And David Raya will be watching that from the sidelines. Inside, he's not smiling at the minute, but inside he'll have a little bit of a smile there, because it just shows that he will just be the number 1 as soon as this game's over. First big chance of the game. Great clearance off the line by Declan Rice. Good defensive instincts to get on the line there. And Burmo probably feels like he could have scored and probably should have scored. So Brentford have got it back on halfway. Godos with it. Been forced to go backwards to the edge of his 18-yard box here to goalkeeper Mark Flecken, who will clip it up beyond the halfway line, but it's a free header for Gabriel to nod it down to Rice, who then goes back to Gabriel midway inside the Arsenal half. And Ramsdale has it again with his feet. Inside of his 18-yard box, got Saliba to his right, Gabriel to his left. He goes for a low ball forward towards Trossard, who takes it away from Norgard. And will release it to the right-hand side to Tomiyasu. 10 yards away from the halfway line. He now passes the halfway line, bringing the ball forward. Not being pressured by any Brentford players yet, as Trossard sends it to the right here to Saka. In the final third, he's got everything to his left. He's driving inside here, Saka, towards the edge of the box. He releases it out to the left to Zinchenko. It finds the Ukrainian, who gets out to the left to Martinelli. Corner of the box, he has a strike. Don't know if it's a strike or a cross, but whatever it was, it's come off the face of Onyeka. And there'll be a corner kick for Arsenal on the near side. It's Frank Onyeka. He's just stayed down at the minute, the Nigerian midfielder. Did get it in the face there from Martinelli, who just entered the box, shifted onto his right foot. I think it was more of a cross, actually, than a shot. And he definitely hit Onyeka square in the face. He's making his 60th appearance, Onyeka, for Brentford, and he's yet to score for them in any of those previous 59. Not really a goal-scoring midfielder, though, Frank Onyeka. More of an engine in that midfield who covers a lot of ground and wins possession back for his side. It'll be Leandro Trossard on this near side. Will he go short to Ødegaard? Tim Robinson. He's having a discussion here with Ødegaard because Arsenal's last two corners have taken a lot of time. The last one really did with Bukayo Saka on the far side. That took too long. And Leandro Trossard again just hesitating on the corner. A lot of hesitation for Arsenal in certain areas. No more so than Aaron Ramsdale in the Arsenal goal a few minutes ago, nearly leading to a Brentford goal. So here he is, left arm raised, Leandro Trossard. Where will he put it? Near post. It bounces in front of Norgard, who can just about get it away to the edge of the box towards Burmo, who flicks it on, but he's pushed in the back by Ødegaard. So a free kick for the home side. Who last season at home were absolutely superb, Brentford. Picked up 37 points from a possible 57 in the Premier League, winning 10 of their 19 home games and losing only the 2. And the 2 they lost. One was against Arsenal and the other one was against Newcastle. So lost the 2 games against very respectable opponents. It's a hard place to come. Ramsdale definitely not helping himself there. Like I say, from the goal kick, received it from Gabriel. Wanted to play a touch first time, hesitated second. He's gone to kick it and then almost stopped himself from kicking it. But as he's tried to stop himself kicking it, he's just touched it a yard forward, which allowed Vista just to nick it off him and lay it behind him to Burmo, who's now on it on the right wing for Brentford. Tried to poke it inside towards Ayer. Took it away from him by Trossard, who's been just caught there from behind. And it'll be a free kick in the left-back area for Arsenal. Won by the Belgian attacker, Leandro Trossard. The free kick will be taken by Gabriel, I believe. Gabriel's over it. They left it for Zinchenko, who plays it back into the 18-yard box of Ramsdale, who's in a full blue strip tonight in the Arsenal goal. Tomiyasu right back around the corner. It goes towards Trossard, pokes it forward, looking for Saka, headed away though by Ben Mee. Yarmouk out wide left to Yarnell, midway inside the Arsenal half, gets away from the challenge of Saka. Now back to Yarmouk. Ben Mee furthest back for Brentford is Pinnock, who will dink it out to the left again. Chested touch and played into the path of Yarnell, who will get there ahead of Declan Rice. Yarnell goes back into Yarmouk. Now Ben Mee at left centre half. Midway side the Arsenal half. He goes back in towards the halfway line to Pinnock. Keeps the ball moving back to Ben Mee, who loses it under his foot. And Saka gets to take it away and play it on the inside to Trossard. Forward to Ødegaard in the space. Out wide right now is Jesus. Midway side the Brentford half. He plays it in towards the 18-yard box in behind for Saka. But a good sliding interception from Ben Mee, who lost possession originally. Cuts it out, and a throw-in it is for Arsenal towards the final third here on the far side. Good recovery from Ben Mee, the 34-year-old, signed on a free last season from Burnley after they were relegated. Yarnelt gets the last touch off Ødegaard as he tackles him from the throw-in, and the throw-in will go the opposite way this time for Brentford. Only 3 who started the League Cup third round game for Arsenal against Brentford this season start tonight. Ramsdale was in net, and Gabriel and Tomiyasu also started that one as well. The likes of Jorginho, White, Kivior, Havertz, Nketiah and Nelson all on the bench tonight. Arsenal have won it back. Good strong slide tackle by Saliba on Vissa up front for Brentford. It's now played out to the right hand side to Ødegaard. Out to the right now to Saka. He's furthest right in the final third. He's got Tomiyasu just behind him, and he'll play it to the Japanese international. keeps the ball moving, just goes behind him to 15 yards to his left here to Saliba, who drives forward, midway side the Brentford half. He's got Zinchenko making a run forward. He's hesitating on the pass in Saliba. He plays it to Gabriel Jesus on the edge of the box. He's been pulled down with his back to goal, but Arsenal win possession back with Gabriel playing it out to the left to Gabriel Martinelli. 1-on-1 with Godos. It's on outside the box here on the left-hand side. Dribbling, keeping the ball close to him with his right boot, and then playing it all the way back here to Saliba in the centre circle. Then Rice out wide right here to Tomiyasu. Forward he goes now to Saka. He's got plenty of options around him. Jesus has just come out of the 18-yard box to receive the ball. Goes his left here to Rice. Back out wide right here's Tomiyasu. Bit of space. Shifts it away from Yarnell. Ødegaard. Saka. Ødegaard, about 30 yards away from goal on the right-hand side here. Tomiyasu again. Back into Ødegaard. Looking to make things happen. Shifts it 10 yards to his left to Rice. Goes back once more here to Gabriel. On the halfway line, we have William Saliba on the ball. Forward into the path of Tomiyasu. Very patient build-up here from Arsenal, who've got the same record as Brentford in the last 5 games. 3 wins and 2 losses. Zinchenko into the path of Martinelli in the 18-yard box. Tried to cut in on his right foot. Tackled by Onyeka, who then is tackled himself by Gabriel Jesus, but it will run through for a goal kick. Very patient there from Arsenal, as it was a passage of play that you'd expect more from Arsenal. They kept it well, but just that final pass trying to get through this Brentford defence just wasn't quite found, and I don't think it was ever on, to be fair. You know, Gabriel came out of the 18-yard box coming deep for the ball, trying to make something happen, but in the end it all just fizzled out, and it's a Brentford goal kick, which will go long, and it'll be taken by Mark Flecken, 6'5" Dutchman, towards the Brentford left, where Yarnell will jump for it, and he'll head it. I think he headed it off Saka. And now for a throw for Brentford, which will be taken quickly by Benmi. It's a longer throwing down the line. Headed inside, though, by Tomiyasu to Visser. So Brentford keep possession in the Arsenal half. Norgard forward to Visser. Back he goes to Onyeka, who's been caught out from behind there from Jesus. The ball will drop eventually to Ødegaard, who loses out momentarily. And Norgard has it for Brentford. Good midfield work. Taking it away from Trossard and playing it through to Yarmuluk. Out to Yarnell on the left. He has to go back in the end. There wasn't many options going forward, and they're on halfway here with Pinnock. To the right to Ayer. Round the corner, in behind, and he finds Burmo towards the byline. Tries to take on Zinchenko, tackled by the former City left back, but then he's helped out by Godos, and it deflects across to Norgard. And about 20 yards out, the Brentford captain strikes over the crossbar. Really good ball down the right channel there from Ayer to find Burmo, who tried to take on Zinchenko, who was tackled. And a tackle from Zinchenko fell towards Godos, who just volleyed it forward. It cannoned off Zinchenko to the edge of the box to allow Norgard to strike. And Christian Norgard in his 70th appearance in the Premier League can't quite find the back of the net, unfortunately, for Brentford. And Ramsdale goes long this time. It's brought down by Trossard into a Martinelli on halfway. Good touch from the Belgian. Now, number 41. Declan Rice, who shifts it out to the right-hand side here to Ødegaard. Tomiyasu's made a run forward, but instead he peels it out to the right to Saka. Back inside to Ødegaard, 25 yards from goal. He clips it out to the left-hand side, and he'll find Gabriel Jesus, who's just peeled out to the left-hand side himself here. And he puts a cross in, which is headed away by Ayer, and helped away by Yarmuluk. Headed forward, though, to the edge of the box by Rice. Headed away by Pinnock. Headed backwards to the centre circle by Gabriel to Saliba. And is now back with the Brazilian centre-half Gabriel. Into left-back Zinchenko. Goes out to the furthest position of the left, and that's Martinelli. Back to the halfway line, Zinchenko. Good work to find Declan Rice. And Arsenal are very good at just playing themselves out of danger, just keeping the ball simply. It's not, it's just triangles. It's basic football in play. But it gets them out of little danger pockets where they can find themselves a little bit overcrowded. And it's Brentford again sitting back. And it's Declan Rice on it, about 40 yards away from goal. He sends it to the left to Gabriel. He's got forward from centre-back. Here's Martinelli on the left wing position, driving inside. Not got many options. Just goes across back to number 41, Declan Rice, who is edging closer to 50 appearances for England. He made his 48th appearance during the international break. Ødegaard. Again, another switch ball out to Zinchenko. Edge of the box, brings it down with the chest, curls across in towards Leandro Trossard. And around 6 yards out, the former Brighton man heads it over the crossbar. I believe that was a free header for Arsenal's number 19. It was a good switch from Ødegaard to find Zinchenko. And there's a good cross more towards the near post there. It went over the head of Ayer, and Pinnock was too far away from Trossard, which allowed him to have a free header, but just never quite got over it there. Trossard always heading it over the crossbar. And Arsenal have definitely been the better side in the opening 25 minutes. Brentford have had the biggest chance with the Ramsdale howler losing possession. He nearly got punished and probably should have. And despite the Arsenal possession, it's not really led to any big chances so far as we hit the 25th minute here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And the goal kick from Fleck has been headed back forward by Arsenal. Pinnock has to give chase and he volleys out of play. Midway side the Brentford half for a throw-in for the away side. Arsenal only conceded 18 goals away from home last season away in the Premier League. They won 12, they drew 3, and lost 4. Halfway line it is Rice. Gabriel stops the play as the ball seems to have lost its air. So the referee Tim Robinson receives a new match ball. And Tim Robinson will drop it to Gabriel. He goes back here to Rice. Towards the edge of the 18-yard box here. He goes across to the right to number 2, William Saliba, who made his 50th appearance for Arsenal last time out against Burnley, which he scored in as well. Gabriel to left back, Zinchenko in a left back position. Pokes inside to Rice, who sends it around the corner with the left foot. Looking for Trossard, who can't quite take it on. Ahead of Onyeka, who tries to get around Trossard, but he doesn't allow it, the Belgian. Wins a throw in for his side. Onyeka overran it. Couldn't quite get around Trossard. And it's a free kick in the end for Brentford on halfway. Gabriel Jesus just handling the ball as it came towards him. Don't think it was on purpose, but it definitely came off the hand, I believe. And that's the decision the referee's given. But Arsenal have won their last 2 games here at this stadium. Both in September. One of this year and one last year in 2022. Brentford haven't won away at Arsenal since April 1938. 0 wins in their last 5 visits to the Emirates, Brentford, but they're on home soil today as a free kick from the handball is sent into the area, headed away for Arsenal, out to the left to Martinelli, who's trying to get away from Godos. Can't quite do so. It's picked up by Onyeka. It's now Burmo on the right wing position for Brentford. Turning away from Martinelli and playing inside to Norgard, all on the near side here. And it's on halfway. Bit of settled possession here for Christopher Ayer, as he's not being pressed by an Arsenal shirt. Pinnock, left foot, drilled ball out towards the left-hand side, picked up by Tomiyasu, who sends it down the right-hand side for Saka. He's one-on-one here with Ben Mee. Deep inside the Brentford half, he's got Jesus making a run out to the right. He goes inside instead to Ødegaard. Shifts it to his left once more to Zinchenko. Furthest left's Martinelli, and he has it here. 18-yard box on the left side. Relays it to the edge of the box to Zinchenko, who turns, slows the play down and goes across to Declan Rice. Out to the right side, he goes to Ødegaard. Edge of the box. Shaping up to cross, fakes it, plays it out to the right to Jesus, who's gone into a right wing position here, the Brazilian. And here's Saka. To Ødegaard again. Tries to lift it in towards the run of Saka. Comes off Ben Mee and he can eventually clear. And it'll just trickle out slowly for a throw-in for Arsenal, who have definitely been the better team so far, as mentioned before. Very early on in this fixture, there's a bit of history on this fixture. Arsenal didn't always have their own way. They only picked up 3 wins in 12 from 1902 to 1947, when their main clump of games were played. Only the 19th meeting between these two sides, because we've got to remember Brentford were last in the top flight before this season in 1947, so they haven't played each other too often, especially when it comes into the cups, because they couldn't play each other in the league. And yeah, in their early history, it was a pretty even fixture. Arsenal didn't win them all, and Brentford definitely with the team picking up more of the wins. 6 they've got in total, 5 in 7 in the top flight from 1935 to 38. So Brentford certainly like this fixture more so 90 years ago. Zinchenko into Jesus, back to goal, turns, left-footed shot, well blocked by Ethan Pinnock, and it'll be thrown for Arsenal. First little glimpse of an opportunity for the away side. Throw-in already taken to Martinelli. Inside it goes to Rice, lays it off to Zinchenko. Across he goes to the right, good 20-yard pass across to Saliba. not being pressed here, plays out to the right to Ødegaard, edge of the box, plays into the path of Tomiyasu, who crosses first time, blocked by Yarnelt, and it'll be a corner on the far side for Arsenal, who again are keeping the ball well, but just not quite conjuring any huge chances. Nothing's quite worried Mark Flecken yet in the Brentford goal. And it'll be Saka to take this corner on the far side. Arsenal's number 7. Alexis Sanchez was his influence growing up. Obviously, Bukayo Saka came up through the academy, joined Arsenal in 2008 at the age of 7. And now he's aged 22 and he's making his 197th first team appearance for the club. So Saka on the far side raises his right arm once again like he did last time. And he'll curl it near post. Gabriel helps it on to the side netting. And it'll be a goal kick. Unfortunate there from Gabriel. Not sure if he hit his head or his back. Gabriel got there near post. He was up there with Pinnock. And it just came off his back. He kind of just turned into it with his back. It was a bit of a strange one there. And he backed it into the side netting. And Brentford survived. Brentford haven't had any big chances created. The only chance they've had was the gift from Ramsdale when he couldn't release the ball in the 18-yard box and he was tackled by Visser, who then laid it off to Burma, who had a shot cleared off the line by Rice. But bar that, in terms of actually creating anything themselves, Brentford have done very little into the 18-yard box. Ramsdale, Rice back into Ramsdale. Now to the right to Tomiyasu, down the line. Looking here for Saliba, but he's been tackled here by Yarmouk. And he'll put the cross in here, comes off the back of Saliba, and they can't avoid the corner. On the far side, Frenchman gives it away. Played every minute last season against Brentford, including the goal in the away fixture for William Saliba. But this time he's given away a corner. Number 19, Burma, will go over to take. He's got Godos as a short option. I think Onyeka's making his way over as well to provide another source of creation. Brentford are absolutely surrounding the 6-yard box, and in particular number 1, Aaron Ramsdale. Referee blows the whistle for some reason, and he'll make his way over here to talk to Brian Burmo and Saman Godos. Not quite sure what he's having a word with here, but Godos and Burmo are over it. And then the referee will have a little bit of a discussion in the 6-yard box. It is absolutely packed. Tim Robinson just having a word at the far post there with Zinchenko, who's got Yarnelt in for company. I think he'll be ready to be taken here. So they've got the in-swinging option of Godos or the out-swinging option of Burmo. With the in-swinger of Godos towards Ramsdale, who does get something to it. He'll drop in the box towards Pinnock. Jesus clears it for the moment to the edge of the 18-yard box where it can be helped on by Saka down the Arsenal right. No one there to chase, so it'll be back for Brentford in their own half with Burmo, who goes back to the edge of the 18-yard box to Flecken. Back out to Burmo, who's in the left-back position here for Brentford. Goes back into the 18-yard box to Flecken again, who will clear it in his full pink strip down to the Brentford right. Header won by Zinchenko on Ben Mee. Good defending there from Zinchenko. And it's now Rice midway side his own half. He'll drive forward away from Johan Visser. And he's going to look out to the left-hand side on halfway, and he finds Leandro Trossard. Goes back inside to Rice, takes it on the turn beautifully. Zinchenko now looking to get it to the right hand side, and they do with Tomiyasu just inside his own half. Forward and further right, it goes to Saka, who's fancying the run on Yarnelt. Plays it instead inside to Ødegaard, who gets it back out to Tomiyasu, who's got forward from fullback. Tomiyasu in the final third. Back he goes to Declan Rice. Forward to Jesus and out wide right to Tomiyasu. Good bit of play here from Arsenal, but can't quite find that final ball still. Rice. Across it goes to Gabriel, about 50 yards away from goal. Out to the left it goes to Trossard. He's got a lot of time here to try and put a cross in. He'll put one in on the angle. Headed away by Pinnock. It goes back towards the byline where it will be not seen out by Jesus. Yarnelt just about avoids the corner. And he can seize the throw in instead. It's good work there from the German. Covering at left back today, Vitaly Yarnelt. And whilst he was at Germany, he played for clubs like Hamburg, RB Leipzig and Bochum, the team he joined from. And as Arsenal were planning to take that throw, and it's gone the other way. They were showing some replay, so I don't know if Takehiro Tomiyasu's played a foul throw or he took too long. I'm presuming it's a foul throw there from Tomiyasu, Arsenal's number 18, making his 70th appearance for the club today. Tomiyasu, as Ben Mee throws down the line, helped on towards Burmo, headed on by Trossard, brought down here by Saka, lifted ball inside, looking for Martinelli, won by the header of Ayer. Back to him by Tomiyasu. Ayer pokes it forward towards halfway. Burmo pushed to the ground, 2 hands in the back by Saliba, and it will be a free kick for the home side, just inside their own half on the far side. Definitely a free kick. You could just about see William Saliba using those 2 hands in the back to push over Brian Burmo. And there is Thomas Frank in discussion with some of his coaching staff. He's got his assistants of Kevin O'Connor and Klaus Norgard. Obviously, Thomas Frank's been at the club now since October 2018, edging towards 250 games as the manager. This is game 247. Been a great servant for Brentford, getting them to the Premier League from the Championship as the free kick goes forward. Helped on into the box with the head of Pinnock, but Declan Rice heads it back into his own box for Ramsdale to collect, who kicks out of his hands first time, looking for Jesus up front. He beats Pinnock on Onyeka to it, but then it's sliced away here by Yarmouk, and as it's in the air, Onyeka tries to win it. He goes for the jump. He's been knocked to the ground by Jesus. And that'll be a free kick for Brentford inside their own half. Decent bit of distribution there from Aaron Ramsdale in the Arsenal goal. Played every single minute of the Premier League last season, Aaron Ramsdale, with the 14 clean sheets, 4 of them at home and 10 of them away. He's already got 1 clean sheet away from home in the Premier League this season, Aaron Ramsdale. That came in their 1-0 win against Crystal Palace, which needed a Ødegaard penalty to give them the 3 points. Flacken sends it towards Burmo on the right-hand side, goes over him and Zinchenko, and he'll be caught by Aaron Ramsdale. Missed throw. Oh, Ramsdale's having a shocker. Straight to Onyeka. Fed out to the right-hand side here to Norgard. He's got the run of Godos, but he goes for an early cross towards the far post. He's said, volleyed away by Tomiyasu, and it can be won by Saka. Forward to Jesus, out to the right to Ødegaard, passes the halfway line. It's a 4v2 here at the minute, and Ødegaard just behind the run of Saka to his left, and it can be won back by Norgard. And Arsenal should have done better with that. Poor pass from Ødegaard. Needed to get it into the feet of Saka at least, not behind him. Ramsdale survives another absolute stinker of a moment. Going to throw the ball, but just instead of throwing it far, he just threw it down and it bounced forward straight to Onyeka. And Aaron Ramsdale, he's made 2 high-profile mistakes. Yes, they've not come to anything, but you can clearly tell that the pressure is getting to him. This whole situation is not good for Aaron Ramsdale. He's not in a clear headspace, and you can see it in the performance so far today. He's been really shaky, Aaron Ramsdale. As Arsenal attacking the final third, Zinchenko across to his right here to Gabriel. He'll go across once more here to Tomiyasu, about 30 yards from goal on the right side. He helps it to Jesus, who's took up a right wing position here. Goes back into the path of Tomiyasu, takes 2 touches and then passes it with his right foot to his left to Saliba, who clips it. Nice ball out to the Martinelli on the left. 1-on-1 with Godos. Byline in the box. Chops back onto his right foot. Lays it behind him, Zinchenko, who curls the ball into the 6-yard box. Helped on by Pinnock. Drops towards Jesus. Right-footed strike. It's a little bit of a wild one. He was a bit off balance. And it'll be a goal kick for Brentford. Again, Arsenal themselves have just not quite had a big enough chance so far in this half. They've all been half chances here and there. Nothing too outstanding. And in fairness, that is down to Brentford's hard work of just shutting down every single little space that Arsenal are trying to exploit or get to. But Jesus on a very tight angle. It would have took something quite spectacular from Arsenal's number 9, who's got 15 goals for them in 44 appearances. And Aaron Ramsdale, you just feel bad. Like you have sympathy really, because the situation he's in is just completely unfair. Arteta's brought in David Raya, who's, don't get me wrong, is a very talented goalkeeper. But what did Ramsdale show last season that warrants him being replaced? I just don't understand. Arsenal finished 2nd place. It was their best Premier League finish since the 2015-2016 season. He kept 14 clean sheets. Yes, 10 of them away. 10 clean sheets away from 19 games. I just find it all bizarre what he's done with Aaron Ramsdale. And again, like I mentioned before, he signed a new contract in May. a 3-year contract in May. And then brings in David Raya in August. Absolutely crazy. And he's made a couple of mistakes today, and thankfully for Aaron Ramsdale, they went unpunished. Jesus on halfway, around the corner, away from Pinnock to Saka on the right-hand side. He will charge forward into the final third. 1-on-1 with Ben Mee. Takes on the outside, trying to enter the box. Ben Mee says no, shuts the door, and he clears it forward towards Visser. He takes it away from Saliba and plays it inside nicely to Onyeka, but the touch is poor and Trossard wins it back. Martinelli enters the box, left-hand side, doesn't fancy the strike, cuts it back instead, edge of the box. Jesus with a deflected shot and palmed away for a corner by Flecken. Brentford and Arsenal are both giving each other chances. That time Onyeka ran into traffic in the midfield to Trossard, who played it to Martinelli, who gave it to Brazilian teammate Jesus, and his shot was deflected into the air, and Flecken could have caught, but instead he flapped and parried, and away he goes for a corner on this near side for Arsenal. It'll be taken by number 19, Leandro Trossard, who picked up a spectacular 9 assists last season for Arsenal when he joined in January. Can he get another one here? Near post, it's been met by the head of Norgard, and it'll be seen through for a throw in here for Arsenal. Trossard wants to try and take it quickly if possible, but he'll leave it for number 35, Alexander Zinchenko, a 4-time Premier League winner himself, the Ukrainian, making his 50th appearance for Arsenal tonight. And he throws it towards the byline, and he finds Martinelli in behind. Across it goes, it deflects out to the edge of the box to Saka. Goes to his left to Ødegaard, on once more to Trossard, back out to the right-hand side to Saka, on his left foot, he swings across in, Jesus header, saved by Flecken, helped in by Trossard, and there's no flag, and the Belgian scores for Arsenal. We were just talking if he could become creator, but he's gone one better, and he's become the goal scorer again. Back-to-back goals for Leandro Trossard. He scored before the international break in their 3-1 win against Burnley. And he's come to the G-Tech Community Stadium to score against Brentford for Arsenal. It's all a bit of a mess for Brentford. The throwing in behind to find Martinelli should have been defended better. And in the end, it's dropped to the edge of the box where Saka crossed it into Jesus. And he was onside. Godos played him on. And as Jesus played the header, I think Trossard was just behind the ball. So as Jesus headed it from 6 yards, it was a good save with the left-hander Flecken, but he just parried it into the sky towards the far post, where Trossard followed the ball in, and from literally a yard or two out, he heads it into the back of the net. Leandro Trossard just got there ahead of Mark Flecken, who was trying to get there to flap the ball away behind for a corner. But Trossard beat him to it. And VAR are checking the goal to see if Trossard is onside. Gabriel Jesus was onside when Saka crossed it, and then Jesus had a header just outside the 6-yard area towards the top right corner, where it was saved by Flecken, and as I mentioned, he just parried it into the air towards the far post, where Trossard followed it in and literally just had to get his body on the ball, and it was going in, he couldn't possibly miss. And they are checking for offside. If Trossard scores, it's his 4th of the season in the Premier League. He scored an important winner against Everton away earlier on in the season. Started the comeback against Chelsea away from home, and then he obviously also scored the first goal in their last game, in their win against Burnley. To me, it looks like his left foot has just gone ahead of the ball, for me. It's a tight one. VAR have got to get the right call here. VAR is Peter Banks, with assistant VAR being Stuart Burt. And they have indicated that Leandro Trossard's left foot was in an offside position as the ball was headed forward by Gabriel Jesus. So the goal will not count. It is still 0-0 here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford survive a slight little scare there, and the offside's been given. As Jesus headed it towards goal, Trossard had just gone early, just went ahead of the ball himself. And Brentford are letting Arsenal players know that goal's been disallowed, jeering the opposition. Because as Trossard scored, all the Arsenal players did his celebration like that in front of the Brentford supporters. And as the goal was disallowed, every Brentford fan around that corner of the goal where they went to celebrate all just did that back to him. Great bit of football banter there from the Brentford fans. And just before the break, Arsenal are denied a goal through offside. Jesus' header Saved by Flecken on the rebound. Trossard put it in the back of the net. But as the header was won, he was in an offside position. So it remains 0-0. 30 seconds to go before half-time. We're back underway with Martinelli. Seeing the ball out for a throw-in midway side the Brentford half here on the near side. And it'll be taken by Zinchenko. Again, it's not been a bad first half from Arsenal. They've just not created a huge amount of big chances. Obviously, that is one of them. But unfortunately, the goal was disallowed. Throwing down the line towards the corner flag here to Martinelli. Back it goes to Zinchenko. To his right to Trossard. On the edge of the box. He plays it across, which has been cut out by Ben Mee. He was looking for Ødegaard. Mee's clearance with his right foot is so wayward. Picked up by Gabriel. 3 minutes of added on time. Martinelli on the left-hand side. Tries to enter the box, but he's tackled by Godos, and it drops to Ayer, who clears up towards Burmo. Loses out to Gabriel. Ball drops to Zinchenko, who just volleys it down the left channel for Arsenal, and it will be met by Jesus, who's met by a strong challenge by Christopher Ayer. And the Norwegian will be booked for that challenge for kicking the ball away. Jesus was getting there first, and Ayer just came in and slammed him to the ground on Arsenal's left towards the byline. And then, in a bit of frustration, he's booted the ball away, and he's picked up a booking. Brentford's number 20, 6'6", formerly of Celtic, before joining Brentford 2 years ago for an initial fee of £13.5 million. Well, he made 10 appearances last season, unfortunately. Christopher Ayer was out injured in August, and then from November to January, and then missed parts of March and April. But he's been okay this season. 13 appearances. It's our 13th appearance tonight for Christopher Ayer. And Leandro Trossard on this left-hand side can put an in-swinging cross in. 2 in the wall for Brentford, which is Burmo and Onyeka. Will we go for a bit of a shot here, and maybe a bit of a shot cross on the angle. 90 seconds left of the first half to play. Trossard will take. It's helped all the way through, and I think it's come off Jesus and cleared by Godos. Gabriel Jesus to stop the flight of the ball going towards goal, and it could be cleared by Godos. Helped forward by the head of Yarnelt, and then once more by Yarmuluk. Can only go as far as the halfway line to Saliba in a right-back position. He keeps it away from Yarnelt and feeds it to Saka, who's driving inside for Arsenal. Midway side, the opposition half. He feeds it out to the left to Zinchenko. Now into the path of Martinelli. Just inside the box here on the left-hand side. He's one-on-one here with Godos. Goes backwards to Rice, who goes to the left here to Zinchenko. Just under a minute left to play of this first half. It remains 0-0. Gabriel, 30 yards from goal. Back out to the left, it goes to Zinchenko, who's got a bit of time to put a cross in. He'll go towards Ødegaard, who Scorpion kicks it forward. Looking for the runner Tom Miasu at the far post, but it's just gone beyond him, and it'll be a goal kick for Brentford. Decent cross from Zinchenko, who's helped actually. He was helped on by Onyeka, which meant the ball just went behind Ødegaard, and he used his initiative to try and help it on with a bit of a Scorpion kick-like kick. But couldn't find Tomiyasu, who's making the charging run at the far post. And that could be that for the first half, as we've got just 15 seconds left. It'll be Flecken to take down the Brentford left, straight out for a goal, for a throw-in on the far side, and that'll be enough for referee Tim Robinson, who blows and ends a first half at the GTEC Community Stadium, which consisted of 48 minutes. Some big talking points, and we'll just run through them now. The first huge chance came for Brentford in the 15th minute. Aaron Ramsdale on the ball in the 18-yard box was hesitating on the ball, and as he went to kick it, he then hesitated, stopped, and nudged the ball forward ever so slightly. And it allowed Johan Visser in the 6-yard box to take it off him. He didn't have the angle for the shot, Visser, so played it back to Burmo, who in the 18-yard area, left-footed strike, got beyond a outstretching Ramsdale, and it looked like he was going to nestle into the bottom left corner, but Declan Rice had got himself on the goal line, and he blocked off the line for Arsenal to keep it at 1-0. And for Arsenal, throughout the whole first half, they had possession, but no real huge chances until right near the end of the half. That's when they started to appear for the away side. They had a chance in the 38th minute from a tight angle on the right-hand side. Jesus got the ball wide. Zinchenko crossed. It was deflected in the air. And as it fell to Jesus' feet, He tried the shot on at goal, but it was from a very tight angle, and he couldn't quite put it into the back of the net. 5 minutes till half time. Arsenal got the ball in the midfield. Martinelli cut it back and teed up for Jesus, who struck from 20 yards, and it took a huge flick off the defender, and it was flicked behind for a corner by Flecken. And just before half time, 42nd minute, a cross from Saka to Jesus, 6 yards out. He headed it towards goal, top right corner. It was saved by Flecken, straight into the air and towards the far post. Trossard followed it in and got the header into the back of the net. But unfortunately, as Jesus headed the ball towards goal, Trossard was in an offside position, so that goal was ruled out before half time. So in a game which has had all Arsenal possession, but very little big chances created, it remains at the GTEC Community Stadium, Brentford 0 and Arsenal 0. Like I say, in terms of chances created, we haven't had a lot. It's more been chances gifted than created. I mean, Arsenal have had 9 shots, but the big telling story is 2 on target. They've kept possession well. They've had 70% of the ball. It was just they weren't really creating anything with it until the end of the half, really, where the chances started to flurry. Like I say, Jesus had a shot on the angle that went quite far wide. He had a shot deflected, which was then parried for a corner. They had the disallowed goal where Trossard followed up and headed in from a yard out. So it was only until the last 5 or 10 minutes of this first half where Arsenal actually kind of started creating little half chances. Nothing, no full chances until the goal, which was disallowed, which was on the 45th minute. And then Brentford have had 3 shots, 1 on target. Their 2 main chances came from Ramsdale mistakes. Ramsdale, obviously, with that first one, about 15 minutes in, where he gave the ball straight to Visser in the 18-yard box after hesitating with the pass. And then later on in the half, he tried to throw the ball forward for Arsenal. Instead of throwing it like that, he threw it down. It slipped out of his hands straight to a Brentford man deep in the Arsenal half. So Brentford really have created absolutely nothing. Their only shot on target came from the Ramsdale mistake. So in terms of creating chances and actually looking like they're going to score, Brentford need to improve vastly in the second half. Arsenal, it's kind of just more of the same, really, but just try to make... With Arsenal, it's probably just taking more risks, I think. I think they're a little bit scared to give possession away because obviously they know the power Brentford have on the counter-attack with the likes of Brian Burmo, and they've got Johan Visser, who's got a lot of pace as well. But they just need to have a little bit more, I don't know, just a little bit more, be a bit more penetrative. I can't say that word. Just go, just try and find those defence splitting passes, and if it doesn't come off, then oh well. But at least you're going for them. If they keep playing the same way, Arsenal, they'll limit themselves to chances. The chances, they'll create chances, but they'll just limit themselves to not having loads. And it then just means when you get those chances that you create, even though there won't be too many of them, you've got to take them. And obviously then they thought they took one of their chances, but unfortunately it was flagged for offside. If you are here, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got 2 commentaries coming up tomorrow. We've got the Scottish Premiership at 12 o'clock with kick-off at midday between Aberdeen and Rangers. And also we have Premier League commentary of Everton against Manchester United, and that will be a spicy fixture. Obviously, Everton have just been docked 10 points due to breaking some financial fair play regulations. And obviously we know the opinion a lot of Everton supporters. So I think they'll be well up for that game. So I think United have definitely got their work cut out for sure when they go to Goodison Park tomorrow. So we should have 2 very good commentaries, and I think we've got quite a few coming next week as well. On the Wednesday night, we are going to be covering Championship football, not Champions League football, because the Champions League games are a little bit rubbish, I think, on Wednesday. So we're going to be covering Ipswich at home to Millwall, and on the Thursday, the day after, we're going to be covering AEK Athens taking on Brighton at home. Brighton travelling in the Europa League once again. And on next Sunday, we're going to be having Manchester City taking on Spurs. And the next midweek, we've got the likes of Wolves, Burnley on the channel, Everton, Newcastle. So we've got some decent games coming up on the channel. So make sure to subscribe and like to make sure you don't miss any live streams on this channel, as we are coming up now to obviously the busy festive period. So there'll be a lot of football between now and New Year. But very disappointed with Brentford. I expected more from them. They've done absolutely nothing going forward. Like I said, their only big chance, which came in the 15th minute, was just due to Aaron Ramsdale, giving them the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. Thankfully, Ramsdale didn't kick it too far away from himself. So when Visser took it off him, Ramsdale was pretty much on his toes, so he couldn't really shoot Visser. That's why he pulled it back to Burmo, who had the shot saved off the line by Declan Rice. But you've got to feel for Ramsdale, seriously. That's really poor, but you can just tell his confidence is gone. And it's got to be so conflicting. For Ramsdale, it's got to be. You're number one for the whole of that last season where they've done really well, then all of a sudden you dropped. It's got to be confusing for sure. But second half will be getting underway around just over 5 or so minutes time. But yeah, just looking through Twitter here, and Jamie Carragher says Arteta's created this pressure on his keepers. This pressure on his keepers narrative is nonsense. Arteta should improve on his goalkeeper. He feels right. Also, I actually disagree. I disagree with what he's saying. I should have read it all. But I disagree with that, because you got to remember, at the end of the day, Ramsdale isn't a robot. He's human, and something like this, where he's pretty much being replaced, is going to have an effect. And I don't think David Raya is improving on him. I don't think David Raya is. I mean, I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I just don't think David Raya is an upgrade on Ramsdale. I don't see it. Personally, I don't understand. When Ramsdale was playing last season, full of his confidence, he was absolutely brilliant. That's what I'm. That's why I'm very much on the side of Ramsdale, because you've been dropped for no reason, and you're getting no clarity over the situation as well. Arteta is not making his mind up. He's not said out and out, Ray is me number one. If he came out and said Ray's number one, I think Ramsdale would have been a bit of a better headspace, because at least he'd have clarity on the situation. But when you're leaving him with no clarity at all, you're just making him guess if he's actually, valued at the club or not. I feel bad for him personally. I just feel a sense of just injustice towards him this season. And now I know he's made 2 quite silly mistakes, especially that first one where he tried to play the pass twice and hesitated and lost it in the 6-yard box. That is silly, and he looks a bit stupid with that. But I just really do. I feel bad. I just think, he's clearly under pressure, because now he'll feel every game he's got to have the game of his life, or he just will have no chance at all of getting back in the side. But as I'm saying, if Ramsdale knows that he is number 2, he will think, right, okay, no matter what kind of goalkeeping performances I put in, I will probably more likely be on the bench the game after. If he plays in the league or in the League Cup or Cups or whatever. But because he's always guessing, thinking, I've not been told I'm number 2, so surely there still could be a chance for me to be number 1. So every game he's thinking, I've got to have the game of my life to get back in as number 1. It's just, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I just think it's very harsh on him, the way he's been treated. But just before half time, I'm going to go and quickly get a drink, and I'll be back for the second half in just a minute. So just bear with, make sure you stay and you stick around for the second half. So we'll have the second half in a couple of minutes' time. As hopefully we get some goals at the G-Tech Community Stadium, something we have had, but it was disallowed. As Trossard was offside. Looking for back-to-back goals, Trossard, as he scored in Arsenal's last game. It's Burnley before the international break. But where will the goals come from for Brentford if they're going to score? Because they've got the players on the pitch to score the goals. I just don't think they're really using the right system. It's just very defensive. It's like a bit of a 3-5-2 kind of system. Just leaving Visser and Burma up front, and then all the rest of them, like Yarmuluk, Godos, Norgard, Onyeka and Yarnell, almost like make like a back three. A midfield five in front of the back three of Aya, Pinnock and me, and it just all seems a bit too deep and a bit too defensive. Which worked in terms of not conceding, but in terms of going forward, they've just not done anything, bar the chance they had from the mistake from Ramsdale. So here are both sets of players in the tunnel as they re-emerge, and obviously this Brentford stadium was new. It was opened back in September of 2020. It cost £72 million apparently to make. It's a nice little, very modern stadium, quite small, but I think it does have not to just pardon the pun, it is quite a community feel stadium. It's nice. I like it. But they've definitely got to get the crowd on it here, especially Ramsdale, visibly shaky from the first half. They've got I'm not saying go for it, but just try and create something at least. Literally, they created nothing that first half themselves. So they've got to change something. If that's system or players coming off the bench, I don't know, but something's got to give. There is Mikel Arteta managing as well. His 147th Premier League game. 6 Manager of the Month awards. 4 of them came last season. And he is unbeaten in his last 4 against Brentford. There is Aaron Ramsdale. I'm definitely sure he'll be getting a lot of stick from behind him in that Brentford stand to the left of what we're seeing. As it'll be Brentford kicking us off, kicking right to left. Arsenal left to right in the second half, where it's all up for grabs still in this little London derby. As it is, Trossard in the midfield goes back to Rice, who volleys it beyond the halfway line. Jesus will give chase. Pinnock will get there first, who heads it forward, but it's picked up by Martinelli instead of Norgard. Now out to the right here to Saka in the box. 1-on-1 with me. Takes on the outside byline. It goes across, it deflects towards goal. And it'll be a goal kick given. It's obviously come off the Arsenal man of Ødegaard and not the Brentford defender of Ethan Pinnock. Not really dealt with that well there by Pinnock, and it dropped to Martinelli, then fed it into the space of Saka, who then got the cross in and just came off Ødegaard at the near post, looped onto the roof of the net. Obviously Ødegaard had a bit of a slower start to the season himself. 3 goals in the Premier League, 5 in all competitions, got 15 last season, all of them in the Premier League. Was Arsenal's top goal scorer alongside Martinelli. It'll be a Brentford throw-in on the far side, right next to the corner flag here, as Ramsdale came out to get a ball that was pumped down the line. And again, he hesitates. He was waiting for the ball to come back in his box, but he realised he wasn't going to get in his box in time before Burmo was getting there. So he's had to volley away, and he's asking for a throw-in, but I don't see a touch off Burmo. So I think it's a rightly given throw-in. Right next to the corner flag on the far side. I think it's going to be a longer throw-in here from Brentford's number 5, Ethan Pinnock. Burmo's making movements. He does go short, just backwards a little bit to Yarnell. Then into Burmo. Gets it back out wide right now to Pinnock in a right wing position. Tries to backheel it towards Burmo. Comes off Zinchenko. Be another throw-in now for Brentford. A bit further away from the corner flag. And this time, currently just on the edge of the final third, I'd say, for Brentford. On their right-hand side, still in the hands of Ethan Pinnock, who signed a new 5-year deal in May of this year to keep his stay at this club after joining from Barnsley in 2019. And he puts in a longer throw-in into the 18-yard box. Helped on by Ben Mee. It's helped on by Godos, and it'll go right through for a goal kick. The Iranian born in Malmo wants a corner. Good flick on from Ben Mee at the near post, and then Godos spun and had a shot, but it was quite weak in the end. It kind of just, dribbled through for a goal kick. Yeah, Ben Mee won the header on Zinchenko. I think Godos might have been just onside as he tried to volley on the 6-yard line, but Gabriel also was in the way to kind of stop him from having a proper shot at goal. Missing some big names though today. Brentford, Nathan Collins, the defender who joined in the summer from Wolves, Mad Røslev, the Danish wing-back Mathias Jensen, who's been fantastic this season for Brentford, the Danish also midfielder. But yeah, just missing today. Hence why the likes of Godos for Brentford and Yarmulke are getting a start. As Arsenal have possession. They're at the 18-yard box of Gabriel, who's back into his own box here with Aaron Ramsdale. Again, not being pressed too heavy. So he's been given time to clear the ball forward, deep into the Brentford half, where the head has been won backwards by Pinnock to Mee, who then heads it forward for Brentford, but it only falls as far as Trossard in the centre circle. And they'll find Ødegaard on the right-hand side, being chased down here closely by Yarmulke. He goes inside here to Declan Rice, midway side the Brentford half. He's driving forward, looking down the Arsenal left. He finds Zinchenko on once more here to Martinelli, just outside the box here, onto his right foot, crosses it, far post. It's a great swinging ball in. And Saka apologises because someone has got to be committing to that at the far post. Really good ball there from Martinelli, who was allowed to get it onto his right foot and he was allowed to cross. And just no player followed it in. And Mikel Arteta is furious. Rightly so. Bukayo Saka has got to be doing everything he can in his power to get on the end of that. But he kind of just watched it go through. Flecken with the goal kick. Down the Brentford right. Helped on by Christopher Ayer towards Visser, who loses out to Gabriel. It's now back with Saliba at right centre half. Clears it forward, deflects off Visser. He'll drop to Ben Mee on halfway. Out to left to Yarnell. First time round the corner, 1-2 with Visser. Back to Yarnell, midway side the Arsenal half, on the near side. Back he goes to Ben Mee. Inside to Norgard. He goes back into his own half here with Pinnock. He goes back once more to the edge of his 18-yard box into Flecken. Good press here from Jesus, which is making Brentford move it quicker. Long ball by Flecken, met by Gabriel. Drops to the halfway line to Onyeka. Overruns it, loses out momentarily, but then Brentford win it back with Godos. And it's now with Ayer. Down the line it goes towards Burmo, who will get there ahead of Zinchenko, but he's been forced back into his own half here with a pass to Ayer, who tries to turn away from Martinelli, pulled down by the Brazilian. Free kick in the right-back area for the home side, well won there by Christopher Ayer. 6'6" Norwegian defender, and when he was growing up in Norway, his mum had to bring his passport with her, to prove his age, because he was also a giant when he was growing up as well, and some teams just didn't believe how young he was with the height he possessed. But his mother had to bring his passport every game when he was younger to prove that he was of the right age for the age group he was playing at, which I found quite funny because he's an absolute giant now. Brentford are in possession with their own goalkeeper, edge of the box. Flecken, high ball out to the right, halfway line. It will be brought down by Ayer. and dribbled away from Martinelli and lifts the ball over the top towards Visser, and it'll be cut out on the edge of the Arsenal box by Tomiyasu, who chests it into the hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Good goalkeeping to collect it, but good defensive play from Tomiyasu, former Bologna defender, to just, calmly chest it back to his goalkeeper as Ramsdale clears it forward on halfway, flicked on by Martinelli, headed away though by Ayer, helped on by Yarmouk, and around the corner and in behind by Visser into the Burmo. There might be a chance of an offside, but he'll take it on and shoot at the near post. Not sure if the flag went up in the end. I think he was offside. Not a great kick from Ramsdale, and Jesus lost out to Ayer. And as it was headed on towards Visser, I think Visser was onside as it was flicked on, and Burmo was as well. As he tried to cut in on his left foot, he got a shot away with that left foot, but drilled it towards the near post, but just dragged it wide instead. And that probably would have stood, I think. I don't think there was offsides in there, as Ramsdale goal kick goes into the Brentford half, but it's headed away though by Ayer. Brought down by Zinchenko, back towards Gabriel, who slices a clearance, and it can nearly be taken off him there by Norgard. But Gabriel gets onto his own clearance and plays it out to the right to Tomiyasu. Forward and into the space of Bukayo Saka. Enters the final third on the near side. He's got Ødegaard in support with him. He'll play it to the former Real Madrid midfielder, who's dribbling away from Yarmouk. It's now Rice. Out to Zinchenko, midway side the Brentford half. On the far side, it's now a Trossard, who drifted out to the left wing to link up here with Zinchenko. Back he goes to Gabriel. He's the furthest back for Arsenal. Across he goes and just slightly forward to the path of Rice. Now it's Tomiyasu, forward from right back. Furthest right, Saka. Gets the overlap of Tomiyasu, plays it inside instead to Ødegaard on the edge of the 18-yard box, who's been kept company there by Norgard, but he gets a great ball out to the left of Martinelli in the box, who gets a right-footed cross in. It goes behind Ødegaard and Tomiyasu. Saka will give chase to keep it in on the byline towards the corner flag. Still alive here for Arsenal. Saka forward into the box towards Tomiyasu. He's been tackled from behind by Ben Mee, and it'll be a corner kick for Arsenal. Good play from the away side. Martinelli, already in the second half, has put 2 teasing balls in for Arsenal. That one that had just been put in was unfortunately deflected. It looks like it was going into the path of the likes of Ødegaard and co. But unfortunately, the deflection took it behind the Arsenal attackers, and eventually they have won a corner from the situation. Right arm raise for Saka. Front post. In it goes. Header away in the 6-yard area by Pinnock. Comes off Burmo towards Yarnell at left back. He will slam the ball away. And it'll be straight out of play for the throw for Arsenal. Just inside the Brentford half here. This is Brentford's 3rd season in the Premier League running. The first season they finished 13th. Last season they were able to get into a top half finish in 9th spot. But now currently, with this point, they do go into the top half of the table again. After starting today in 11th. Arsenal still on the ball on their right hand side, and it's Saka who's got a huge wall of red and white shirts to try and get through. So he just goes across to his left here to Ødegaard, switching the play now out to Zinchenko. Martinelli, final third, outside the box, cutting onto his right foot, edge of the box, swings the ball into the far post looking for Jesus, header won by Ben Mee. The header goes out to the right side to Saka, who keeps it away from Yarnell. Now into Ødegaard. 1-2. Saka knocked off balance. Referee says it's fine. And Brentford can clear over the top ball by Visser. And Ramsdale comes to sweep up. And it's a much needed piece of goalkeeping. Visser was looking over the top for Burmo. And he would have got there ahead of Gabriel. But Ramsdale made sure that Burmo didn't have a chance to go one-on-one. And it's Martinelli with the booking. And I groan at the Martinelli booking because I've got him in my fantasy team. Just overran the ball there, Martinelli. Too much of a heavy touch. Onyeka got there before him. And as he tried to recover there, Martinelli, he just caught Onyeka as he touched the ball first. So free kick for Brentford. About 10 yards away from the halfway line on the right-hand side. They are going to pump this forward. They're aiming for their big defenders they've got on the field. Flecken floats it in to the edge of the 18-yard box. Header away by Saliba. It'll drop to Ødegaard, who sends it over the top here down the Arsenal right to Martinelli, who will get there. Oh, he won't get there ahead of Onyeka. Really good defensive play from the midfielder. And it'll be a throw-in for Brentford. Last touch of an Arsenal man. Arteta's furious. Ben Mee has it on the halfway line. Back into his own half here to Pinnock. Now Flecken. He goes back across to the left to Pinnock in the 18-yard box. Brentford's number 5, the Jamaican international. Promoted from the National League. In 2017, Ethan Pinnock. Now 6 years later, he's a number 1 starting centre-back in the Premier League for Brentford. Great rise in the game for Ethan Pinnock in his 75th appearance in the Premier League. As Brentford go long again, they look for Burmo, but he's lost it to Zinchenko, but he wins it back after he deflects Zinchenko's pass into the path of Yarnelt. Now Yarmulke for Brentford on the left. Goes back here to Ben Mee as they just slow the play down. Back forward it goes to Yarnelt. Yarmulke's overlapping. Doesn't use the overlap. Goes back inside to Ben Mee. Back out wide to Yarmulke. Down the line it goes here to Yarnelt towards the corner flag. He keeps it away from Ødegaard and back he goes to Mee. Inside to Norgard. Onyeka just about keeps it alive after Pinnock's pass was a little bit risky. And Onyeka goes back to Pinnock on halfway. To the left to Mee. Moves it away from Sack. Over ball forward to Yarmulke. Forward it goes into the 18-yard box. Burmo will give chase. Saliba will see it through. Plays it back to his own goalkeeper who then slams it away for a throw-in for Brentford inside the Arsenal half. Good defending there from number 2, William Saliba, to keep Burmo away from the ball. Ben Mee. Norgard on halfway. On the Brentford left, he goes back into his own half here to Pinnock, who will get there ahead of Gabriel Jesus. Into the 18-yard box here with Mark Flecken. Back to Pinnock on the left. Furthest left there is now Ben Mee, closed down by Saka. Gets it away from him with a ball down the line to Yarnelt, whose ball down the line himself is deflected out for a throw-in midway side the Brentford half by Tomiyasu. Ben Mee throws it down the line to the halfway line. It comes off the leg of Saliba, and that'll be throwing. Wow. Throwing for Arsenal on halfway. That definitely came off Saliba last. 100%. But the throw-in somehow has gone the other way. And there'll be Tomiyasu on the throw-in, just in front of the Arsenal technical area. Tomiyasu's been told to go back a little bit, try to gain a few yards on the throw. Tomiyasu throws it inside, all the way to Zinchenko in the centre circle. Been closed down here by Burmo. Shifts it out to the left here to Martinelli. He's just dropped slightly deeper here to pick up the ball. Back inside he goes to Zinchenko. Switches it with a lifted ball out to Ødegaard, who brings it down nicely with the left boot. Now into the feet of Saka in the final third. Back inside he goes to Ødegaard, who scoops across through to the far post where it can be seen out for a goal kick. Twice now that's happened. Martinelli on the left-hand side put a cross in for Saka on the right, and he didn't follow the cross in to the box. And Ødegaard's just put a cross into the far post, and then Martinelli's not following the cross in. Just wasting crosses here, Arsenal. They've got to commit to them and attack the crosses. Don't let them just go all the way through. As it looks like the first change is going to be made of the game soon. Half an hour to go. It's going to be number 14, Eddie Nketiah, who's currently Arsenal's top goal scorer in the Premier League with 5 goals, all of them coming at home. Won't be made yet, the substitute. Eddie Nketiah's just getting ready. It'll be interesting to see who comes off. I don't know. I think Trossard's been okay. I won't bring off Trossard, but who knows. Pinnock, long clearance for Brentford. It's been headed back into his 18-yard box by Zinchenko at left back. And that's fantastic defending from Alexander Zinchenko, the left back, who's played his 115th Premier League game in his previous 114. He's won 88 of the 114 with only 16 losses. 77% win rate in the Premier League for Zinchenko, so he doesn't lose often. He wins more than not. As again, down the line, Burmo will just have a heavy touch there, shoved by Gabriel. Throw in for Arsenal, just midway side their own half here on the far side. So it'll be a good position for Brentford to win the possession back, as we're just over the hour mark. Zinchenko with the throw, finds Rice, gets the return, and back into Rice it goes. He drives away from the pressure of Burmo, goes to the edge of the box to Saliba, who goes forward to Tomiyasu. He's got loads of green grass in front of him to run into as he passes the halfway line. And he lays it off inside here to Rice, who sees a ball out to the left of Zinchenko, gets it through nicely. Now Jesus, who fancies himself in a left wing position, right foot plays it to Zinchenko, who can't quite get through the 18-yard box as he's tackled by Onyeka, and the ball drops to Visser. Counter attack could be on for Brentford. Visser poking it forward to Burmo. Helps it on once more out to the right to Onyeka. Arsenal got plenty of defenders forward as Onyeka plays the early ball through into the box. And it's collected by Ramsdale, who was looking for the run of Visser. But it was a bit of a misguided ball in the end there by Onyeka. Visser was never really going to get there, with Ramsdale anticipating where the ball was going to land. And it's now Arsenal possession. With Martinelli in a left wing position in the final third. Receives it from Zinchenko and gives it back to the Ukrainian. Edge of the box. Will he strike? No, he played back out to the left to Martinelli, who's outside the area here. 1-on-1 with Godos. Again tries to work across, which deflects to the edge of the box towards Rice. Loses out there to Visser, and the slice clearance from Onyeka keeps it alive for Arsenal. Headed away though by Ben Mee. Collected by Rice, who gets away from the challenge of Norgard. Now with Saka. As Arsenal are back in settled possession here. Ødegaard. All Brentford players behind the ball. Trossard plays it forward and out to the left to Trossard. Zinchenko back out to the left again to Martinelli. He fancies it this time. Takes on the outside of Godos. Tries to go towards the byline to get the crossing. But he overruns it. Out of play. Goal kick for Brentford. Good defending there by Saman Godos. Signed in January of 2021 from France after having a 6-month loan spell earlier on that season. He actually played 87 times, Saman Ghoddos, under Graham Potter at Östersunds in Sweden. That is where Saman Ghoddos is originally from. Born in Malmo. And it looks like Brentford soon will be making an attacking change, hopefully. Hopefully it's not like for like, because they're going to be bringing on Neil Mopey. Signed on loan with an option to buy from Everton this summer. Formerly of Brentford before this. Got 41 goals in 95 appearances in his first spell at the club when they were in the Championship. Brentford in a right wing position with Norgard. Puts in an early cross towards the near post. Easily collected by Ramsdale in the 6-yard area. No one attacking it, unfortunately, there for Brentford. As Rice has it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes out to the right here to Saliba. Visser will close down. But Saliba will distribute forward down the line to Saka, who keeps it away from Ben Mee. Then replays it back into Saliba. Midway side of their own half here is Declan Rice. Strives forward. Releases it early with a nice ball out to the left-hand side. It's a curling ball as well. Drops into the space now for Jesus, who brings it down. Plays it off into Zinchenko. Midway side of the Brentford half on the far side. Not got many options forward, so goes across instead to Rice. Goes out to the right and forward to Ødegaard. Got Martinelli with him on the right. He'll feed it to the Brazilian towards the byline. He's able to work across, which is deflected by Yarnell for a throw-in for Arsenal on the near side. Right next to the corner flag. Tomiyasu to take. And it will be Edin Nketiah to enter the field. And it will be pretty much like for like. Gabriel Jesus, who's not quite had the desired effect that Arteta wanted, is going to be replaced with just over 25 minutes to go. The Brazilian did head towards goal, which was then saved and then put in on the rebound by Trossard, but unfortunately that was given as offside. But I just think Arteta wants a striker to stay in between the defenders. Jesus is doing a lot of drifting out wide and coming deeper for the ball. I think he just wants Nketiah to stay in there. Give the defenders something to think about. So Jesus off for Nketiah as we enter the last 25 minutes of this game. Ødegaard receives it from Tomiyasu, but he was offside down the right channel, and it'll be a free kick for Brentford. It's going to be taken in the left-back area by the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. So, Flecken to take the free kick. Down the Brentford left it goes. Visser can't help it on. Header won by Saliba. Nketiah's first touch lays it off into Ødegaard in the Arsenal half. It's now with Rice, who's sat in between the two centre halves here. The number 41, he sprays it Wide left to Zinchenko, midway side his own half. He'll dribble forward slightly as Onyeka comes to try and press him. But he sends the ball over the top down the left and he finds Nketiah. Keeps it away from Pinnock and can't keep it away from Onyeka. The pass back towards Trossard has been deflected by the Brentford midfielder. But the touch goes out of play for a throw-in for the away side. Now Trossard. Back it goes to Gabriel. Across to Ødegaard on the Arsenal right. Lays it off into the path of Tomiyasu. Back to Ødegaard. Furthest right is Saka. He's got everything to his left here. The Arsenal right winger. He goes to the edge of the box to Rice. Back out to Saka. Plenty of Brentford bodies back here to defend. As Arsenal are struggling to break this red wall down. Saka across again to Gabriel. He keeps it moving to Saliba. Lays it off to his right. 5 yards away from him is Declan Rice. Receives the ball back. Then to Zinchenko on the left. Martinelli one-on-one. Onto his right foot. Edge of the box. Crosses it in towards Nketiah. And I think that's an vital header away by Ben Mee. The cross was dangerous. It was swinging towards Nketiah 6 yards out. And as he looks like he's about to really bury that header home, Ben Mee just flicks it behind for a corner, heads it backwards away for a set piece. Good defending for Ben Mee. But they just need to defend this corner now, which is going to be an in-swinger from Saka. Near post, it's a floater, it's a header on into the back of the net by Gabriel. But the whistle was blown before it had reached the back of the net. Nketiah has ended up on the deck. There's going to be a discussion between the referee and Nketiah with Yarmouk, the Brentford player, who brought him down. To be fair, the whistle went early because when Gabriel won the header into the net, everyone had kind of stopped. So no one really challenged Gabriel for the header because the whistle had already gone. So even though he's put it in the net, it was, the game had kind of stopped anyway. But I think Gabriel just wanted to win the header as he was already going up for it. So it'll be retaken again on this near side for Saka with that precious left foot of his. Saka. Again, it's a bit more of a floater and into the 6-yard area where it's caught easily by Flecken. He wants to try and distribute quickly, but just nothing quite on for him. And he just keeps a hold of the ball, Mark Flecken, and allows Brentford to get back in position. And he kicks out of his hands deep into the Arsenal half. Burma will challenge Saliba for it. It goes over Saliba towards the path of Yarmouk for Brentford, who will be beaten to it there by Gabriel, who has to hurry it away for a throw for Brentford on the far side. Midway side, the Arsenal half, as it's getting the Arsenal players a little bit worried because 3 points would take them top of the league. Just the 1 point would put them on to 28 points, which would leave them behind Manchester City by a point. Flecken, edge of the box for Brentford. Out to the left, it's a low one towards the halfway line to Yarmouk. No changes as of yet for Brentford, as they've got it inside their own half with goalkeeper Flecken. Plays it forward to Norgard, to the right to Pinnock in a right back area here. The Jamaican back into the 6-yard box. It goes to Flecken. Being pressed quickly here by Nketiah. Needs to shift it on here. Flecken and just about keeps the ball moving. And Pinnock clears down the right. And it gets it to Ayer. Great ball by Pinnock. Heart in the mouth stuff there from Flecken. And Godos charges away down the Brentford right. Deep into the Arsenal half. Ayer's overlapping. He plays a ball inside to Yarmouk. He said he takes it on first time. And it's an easy save into the hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Unlucky there, Yarmouk. Ukrainian international. Apparently he's a good pressing player, which I believe is the reason he probably started today, Yarmouk. Yes, Brentford are missing players, but the press was important today for Brentford. They've got to get it right. And he's trying to get his first goal in Brentford colours, but it was quite an easy save from afar in the end for Ramsdale, who clears it out of his feet. And he finds Martinelli, who's quite central this time for Arsenal, not either on the left or right wing. Finds Tomiyasu's ball forward towards Nketiah on halfway. This goes beyond Arsenal's number 14. He'll go through to Pinnock in the Brentford half. Now finds Mee. His first pass out to the left has been blocked by Saka, but it drops to Pinnock. It's now Norgard on the edge of the 18-yard box. Needs to release. Goes to Ben Mee in the left-back area, who takes it down the left-hand side. It's sliced. Good press from Arsenal. Thrown for the away side, as talking about no changes for Brentford. 2 come at once. The first one is going to be Neil Maupay, replacing Brentford's number 11, Johan Visser. Neil Maupay comes on. Scored against West Ham in their last home game, which was a 3-2 win. It was 412 days between that goal against West Ham and his last one that was also against West Ham for Everton. So he's not been scoring too often the last year or so, Maupay. But he replaces Johan Visser. And number 16, Shandon Baptiste, will replace Yegor Yarmouk, whose last little involvement was that shot on Ramsdale there, which didn't really worry the England goalkeeper. So 2 changes for Brentford. Thrown into the 18-yard box by Tomiyasu, headed away by me and helped on there by Baptiste. But he's dropped all as far as Zinchenko, shoots from afar, and it'll deflect out for a corner. On the far side for Arsenal, in front of their travelling supporters who have had to make the 30-minute car drive to the GTEC Community Stadium from the Emirates. Good block there from Onyeka, putting his body on the line in front of the Zinchenko strike. He scored his second goal for Arsenal in their last game against Burnley at home. Scored once last season against Aston Villa away, back in mid-February. Trossard on the far side. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger from the Belgian. He's already had a goal disallowed right on half-time. Trossard, can he create a goal here? Near post, header won by Baptiste. Helped on by Burmo. And Norgard slices the volley away. Throw in the final third for Arsenal still. Still high up the pitch, the Gunners. It's not quite the best of clearances there from Norgard, who sliced completely. Declan Rice receives the throw and gets it back to Zinchenko, who goes back to centre-back Gabriel, who's one of the furthest back here for the away side. Here's Rice on the left-hand side, midway side the Brentford half. He goes across to Saliba. Passed on once more to Tomiyasu at right back. Keeping it away here from the press of Baptiste. Plays the ball inside to Rice, who takes it on turn nicely on halfway. Keeping it away from Norgard. Then playing it forward against Tomiyasu. Goes inside to Saka, who moves away from the challenger Baptiste. Ketia finds Erdegaard, who's tackled strongly but fairly by Norgard. It's now Neil Maupay charging down the Brentford left. Staying away from Declan Rice, but can't get away from Saliba, who down the right-hand side tries to link up with Tomiyasu, but they lose possession through Ben Mee. Then Maupay will drive down the left-hand side again into the final third, try to go on the outside of Tomiyasu, but Tomiyasu got in front of him and then he tripped the Japanese defender. And it'll be a free kick in the right-back area for Arsenal. Good defending there. Good defending there from Tomiyasu. As Erdegaard was tackled there by Norgard, he just got caught. A bit of a knee-to-knee collision there, but he won the ball fairly, Norgard. It definitely wasn't a foul, but I think they did just clash knees a little bit as the challenge went in. 15 minutes to go. It remains 0-0. These two teams have met once before this season. It was in the League Cup, third round. And it only took the one goal for Reece Nelson in the 8th minute to separate the two sides. The last Premier League meeting was a 1-1 draw at the Emirates. Trossard and Tony with 2 second-half goals to get that game at 1-1. If it stays the same, this will be Arsenal's 6th clean sheet of the season. Second for Ramsdale, as Ben Mee at left back wins it back for Brentford. Clears it over the top, down the left-hand side. Maupay will give chase on Saliba, but Saliba at right back will get there first. But then Burmo takes it off him into the path of Maupay on the left, in the box, tries to play it through the byline, looking for Burmo, but it's cut out by Gabriel. And he clears it off Maupay for a goal kick for Arsenal. Again, good defending there in the end by Gabriel to cut out the pass towards Burmo by Maupay. As it'll be Aaron Ramsdale to take this goal kick. 25 years of age, born in May of 1998. Has been relegated a couple of times in his career, most recently in 2021 with Sheffield United from the Premier League, before making his move to Arsenal for £24 million. As Burmo gets it forward here. Shifts it out to the left-hand side. Mopé will give chase. Saliba will get there first, and he tries to see it out for a goal kick, but it's kept in by Mopé, put straight into the path of Saliba, who will play it inside into the 18-yard box to Rice. He's been closed down here by Yarnelt, but Rice clears it long, left-footed up towards halfway, towards Nketiah. As the ball bounces, Pinnock sweeps it up nicely and clears long. All as far as the chest of Zinchenko, chests and volleys into the path of Rice. Nice bit of skill there from Zinchenko. But then he runs into traffic. Well won back here from Onyeka. Burmo with the ball. 25 yards from goal. Pokes it into the path here. What a run. Christopher Ayer, first shot blocked. He'll drop back to Burmo. Byline, lifted ball, thinks it. Far post. Mopé off the line. Great block. Yarnell across and Mopé again with a shot wide. And it's only took them 77 minutes, but that's probably Brentford's best chance. And they haven't created many. Zinchenko losing it poorly at left back for Arsenal. They charge forward with Burmo giving it to Ayer, who was striding forward from full back. His shot was blocked. It deflected out wide to Burmo, who took it down the byline, crossed it in 6 yards out. Mopé won his header on Tomiyasu, and it was cleared off the line. Second time Arsenal have done that today. Rice did it on Burmo. Zinchenko's done it this time on Mopé. And as it came back in towards Mopé, his second strike was well wide of the post. And Thomas Frank, hands on the head moment. Thomas Frank looking for his second win against Arsenal. His only win against them came back in August 2021 in their first game back in the Premier League. But another chance goes begging for Mopé, who did score in their last home game. Brentford have won their last 2 home games. I think it's Burnley and West Ham. And Arsenal are without a win in their last 2 away games in the Premier League, drawing against Chelsea and losing to Newcastle. It looks like Arsenal are going to bring on number 29 Kai Havertz soon, who's got the 1 goal for Arsenal so far, came from the spot against Bournemouth in their last Premier League win, which was back in late September. 4-0 at Bournemouth. Saka, Ødegaard, Havertz and Ben White scored. 12 minutes to go. Arsenal in possession in the Brentford half. It's Saka who came off last. Yarnell tackled him strong. Saka got the last touch, throw in midway side the Brentford half for the home side, and it'll be number 16 to take Ben Mee, who did win the championship with Burnley in 2016, a club where he spent a lot of his career at, 10 years, just over 10 years of his career. Ben Mee at Burnley, making 376 appearances, 7 seasons of them in the Premier League. As Martinelli for Arsenal is going to be coming off, and he will be replaced by number 29, Kai Havertz. So it looks like Trossard will move out wide to a left wing position, and Havertz will play in the midfield 3. Might have heard in the week of Kai Havertz playing at left back for Germany and assisting in their 3-2 defeat to Turkey. As he receives the ball here on the turn and gets away from one on the right side of the box, tries to pull it across. It's a good block there. And in the end, it's been won back to Ødegaard on the edge. Poor clearance. He goes across to Trossard, wants to pull the trigger. Dummies it first time. Pokes out to the left here to Zinchenko. Receives it back on the edge of the box. Shifts it once more to Rice, who will strike it first time. It's deflected wide of the post. And a corner it'll be. It was a venomous strike there from Declan Rice. He's looking for his 3rd goal in Arsenal colours. And it came off Onyeka. And wide it went. It had Mark Flecken diving, but he didn't have to make a save, the Dutchman. So on the far side, it'll be Leandro Trossard to swing it in. On his 145th appearance in English top flight football for Trossard. He scored 3 times against Brentford previously. Home and away for Brighton in the 2021-2022 season, then 1 last season at home for Arsenal. He has had the ball in the back of the net tonight, but he was in an offside position as the header from Jesus was won towards goal. Before the corner's been put in. Referee just having a discussion with Declan Rice and Frank Onyeka. That'll be Trossard now. Left arm raised in front of the Arsenal supporters. He puts it in towards the near post. It's a header. It's not a header one. I'm sure that came off the arm of Havertz. And it'll be a free kick for Brentford inside the 18-yard box. Havertz jumping for it. And, Havertz jumping for it. Had his arm raised, and that's what it came off last, unfortunately. Bit of a strange one from Havertz. Don't think he needed to really have his arm up there. As it is becoming a little bit more of a frustrating night as the minutes tick on here for Mikel Arteta, as I mentioned before, in his next game in the week against Lens in the Champions League, it'll be his 200th in charge of Arsenal. After Lens in the Champions League, they've got 2 Premier League games of Wolves at home, which won't be easy under Wolves under Gary O'Neill, and then Luton away, which is going to be difficult. They picked up their first home win of the season against Crystal Palace at 3 o'clock, one of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Trossard left wing, ball into the box, and it's caught on the 6-yard line by Mark Flecken, who's looking to distribute quickly, but instead we'll just hold on to it instead and allow Brentford to push up the field. He clears it long. Midway side the Arsenal half towards Burmo. Loses out on the head as Gabriel, but it's headed back forward by Brentford. Helped on by Burmo towards the edge of the 18-yard box, where Saliba clears it away. Out to the Brentford right-hand side. Far side throw-in. Midway side the Arsenal half. Could they nick it late here, the home side? Not had loads of chances. Did have some very recently. Through Neil Mopé, who was stopped on the line by Zinchenko. It looks like Ethan Pinnock, even though he's midway side the Arsenal, he's gone short instead behind to Yarnell, who will then put the ball into the box. Back post towards Ben Mee. It's actually Norgard to meet the header. He'll drop towards Baptiste, who can't get the shot away. Tackled by Tomiyasu. Dribbled away by Saliba. Sends it down the Arsenal right. Cut out, though, by Onyeka. Helped on into the box there towards Burmo. But it's caught there by Ramsdale. And he rolls it out quickly in front of the 18-yard box to Declan Rice, who will stride forward with the ball. He'll glide away from the Arsenal goal. Into the Brentford half he goes. Down the left. He feeds Trossard into the space of Havertz. And it was dealt with in the end for Brentford, but they did concede the throw-in. And it's now with Trossard in a left wing position for Arsenal. Back he goes into the space of Zinchenko, who takes 2 touches, and he's allowed to chip a ball into the far post, where it's headed away by Ben Mee to the edge of the box to Saliba, who fancies a strike, and it's just gone wide of the right-hand side post. And a goal kick it will be for Brentford, fancying his chances there. William Saliba, who scored here last season. It was a header, I think, at the opposite end of the pitch. That time he's gone for a little right-footed shot, and to be fair, it's only a yard or so wide. Not the worst attempts in the world by the 22-year-old centre-half. But Brentford, again, with another goal kick. I don't think they've gone short with one goal kick tonight, Brentford. I think they've all gone long. Probably an instruction given by Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager. Into the Arsenal half it goes, down the Brentford right towards Burmo, who will not get the ball off Zinchenko, and he'll see it through for a throw-in for Arsenal, midway side his own half. On the far side, he's got Havertz in support close up to him. Zinchenko taking his time here with the throw. Zinchenko throws it down the line to Havertz, who nods it back into Zinchenko, who volleys down the line into the Brentford half. It's cut out by Ayer, but the touch is poor into the path of Saka. Nketiah on the left, in the box, right-footed, shoots towards the far post, but that is a horrific attempt. So lacklustre, so poor. Smacked by applause from Arteta as they win the ball back nicely. It comes off Ayer, and then deflects off on Onyeka into the path of Saka, who fed it out to the left to Nketiah, who's got to play a pass to the right-hand side of the box. Saka and Ødegaard are breaking a neck out to get forward into the box, but he went for the shot, and it wasn't even a good one. It was an easy save for Flecken. There's a bit of battling going on in the midfield here. It will drop in the end to Onyeka in the centre circle, who hurries a clearance up the field towards Mopé. Headed away by Tomiyasu, brought down in the centre circle by Norgard. Inside the Arsenal half, he sprays it out to the Brentford right, and he finds Burmo. One-on-one with Zinchenko, who commits to the tackle, and Burmo gets away from him, but then gets the ball stuck under his feet, and Zinchenko can recover. And it's now down the line to Trossard, back into Zinchenko. It's now Gabriel on the byline in the 18-yard box. He's able to clear up towards Nketiah, who loses out to Christopher Ayer. And it's now Brentford on the halfway line. Across it goes into the centre circle here to number 16, Ben Mee. Back it goes to Flecken in the 18-yard box. Clears it first time. down the Arsenal left-hand side, where it's headed away by Zinchenko straight into the path of Ødegaard in the Brentford half. He'll sprint down the right-hand side. He's got Tomiyasu getting forward, and he'll play it into the Japanese international. He's not got many options. He feeds it out to Saka on the right-hand side. Back to Tomiyasu, about 30 yards from goal. Across it goes to Rice, being closed down here by Mope. Gets in front of the Frenchman. Then back out it goes to Tomiyasu. Forward once more to Ødegaard on the edge of the box. Being closed down here by Baptiste. Keeps the ball moving to Saka. He'll put a cross into the 18-yard box and away by Pinnock. All as far as Saliba. Halfway line. It's now with Rice in the centre circle. All Brentford plays behind the ball as they shift it back out to the left-hand side here to Zinchenko. Forward into the space of Trossard. In the final third. Right foot. Fakes one cross. Tries to feed Zinchenko down the line. Deflects back to him and he goes inside instead to Rice. Edge of the box. Keeps it away from Brentford captain Norgard. He has to go back to Saliba. Forward to Tomiyasu. Feeds it in the box. Looking for Nketiah. It deflects towards Saka. His touch forward is cleared by me. And headed back forward by Saliba. Volleyed by Yarnell. Drops to Mope. Who gets it back to Yarnell. Who slams it forward. Looking for Burmo on halfway. Cut out by Zinchenko. Back in possession for the away side. Under 3 minutes left of the 90 to play. Arsenal still asking the questions. Trossard. Diagonal ball out to the right-hand side to Saka. Just inside the box. In the corner of the box. Forced outside the box through the press of Norgard. Saka goes to his right here to Ødegaard. Left foot. Gets a cross in. Another header won by Pinnock. Drops to the edge of the box though to Tomiyasu. Who's allowed to bring it down. And play it out to the left-hand side here to Trossard. Enters the box. Will he take it on the outside or will he go on the inside? Goes on the inside of a ball to Tomiyasu. And it's a shot that's blocked on the penalty spot by Pinnock again. And it will be cleared to the halfway line where Ramsdale will quickly run to recycle the ball back forward for Arsenal. If any team look like they're going to take the 3 points, it's definitely going to be Mikel Arteta's men. Rice, midway side of the Brentford half, switches it out to the right against Ødegaard. He's got time on the edge of the box. He has got company though with Baptiste. Saka swings it, back post, Havertz! And the German international nicks it late. Off the bench with an important goal. It's his second in an Arsenal shirt. They've both come away from home, but this one is definitely the most important of them all. The Arsenal supporters in that corner go absolutely berserk, as it looks like they may have nicked it late. We were just saying, if a team's going to win it, it's probably going to be Arsenal, and it looks like they've just gone and done it. Rice given all the time in the world in the midfield to fire it out to the right-hand side to Ødegaard. On the edge of the box, laid it off to Saka, who swung it in to the far post, where Havertz slipped in at the back post ahead of Godos, and he heads it down through the legs of Flecken. It's a really smart header from Havertz. On the angle, he had to get it right, and the only way that was going in is if he got it through the legs of the goalkeeper, which he did very well. And despite it being quite a difficult start to his Arsenal career, signing for £65 million, he's got his second in an Arsenal shirt, and that could be a big one, and it could be a goal that sends them to the top of the Premier League table. It's Brentford 0, Arsenal 1, as we've got 25 seconds to play. As I think Brentford are going to make a change here. I think that's going to be Frank Onyeka coming off for Keane Lewis Potter. And the second change is going to be, as we hit the 90th minute, I didn't quite see who the second change was. As we've hit the 90th minute, it's 1-0 Arsenal. Havertz with what looks like the winner, but Ben Mee helps it on and cleared away by Declan Rice on the edge of the 18-yard box. Into the sky it goes. Pinnock wins it on Nketiah. And Norgard helps it forward. It's a lifted ball. It's a header won by Rice, kept forward though for Brentford. Hooked over the top, looking for Burmo on the edge of the box. Headed away by Gabriel and helped away with a volley by Tomiyasu. As throw-in been taken quickly by Mee. And it's helped forward by towards Lewis Potter. Poor header by Tomiyasu. Drops to Yarnell. Left wing. Crosses it into the box towards Burmo. Headed away by Zinchenko. Towards the chest of Nketiah. Brings it down nicely. But he's clear. It's down the right-hand side. Been cut out by Ben Mee. 4 minutes of added on time has been indicated. Switch ball out to the left here towards Yarnell. Cut out by Tomiyasu. As the second substitution for Brentford was Godos off for Zanka. Also, an Arsenal fan. The Danish centre-half who's come on for Brentford. Idolised, and his favourite player was Thierry Henry. But now he needs to try and haunt the team he supports here. Long throwing into the near post here in the box. It drops towards Ayer, but Tomiyasu was fouled during the taking of the throw-in. And it'll be a free kick in their 18-yard box for Arsenal. What a big goal that is from substitute Kai Havertz. His other goal came just under 2 months ago in Arsenal's last away win. He scored from the spot against Bournemouth. But now he's scored from open play, and it's going to be a big goal which sends Arsenal top of the Premier League. They'll be top of the league by just a point. But they won't mind one bit. Arsenal are without a win away in their last 2 games, but it looks like they're going to change that now. Their 3 other wins in the Premier League have come to Crystal Palace, Everton and Bournemouth, as we're going to get a couple of Arsenal changes here. Jorginho comes on and replaces Martin Ødegaard, and on comes Ben White off the bench. And I'm not quite sure who Ben White replaced. I couldn't quite see in time, but it looks like Arteta is shutting up the shop with just under 2 minutes to play. So White and Jorginho on to see the game out. Ramsdale clears it long, headed back forward past the halfway line by Ben Mee. Saliba's clearance has gone backwards and it drops towards Burmo, who plays it backwards to Norgard. He then gets it forward for Brentford. Nodded out to the right by Mope into Ayer. Back it goes to Zanka. Early cross, far post. Ramsdale comes and does keep hold of the ball. Not quite had the shaky second half as he did the first. He's been quite calm and resolute in the Arsenal goal and Ramsdale tonight. And he put that out of the air nicely, as it was a teasing one there for Brentford to try and get on the end of it. But Ramsdale said no. And he clears out of his hands. Under a minute to go. Headed back forward by Mee. Down the Brentford left. Helped on by Lewis Potter. Mope will give chase, but Saliba gets there first and plays it back into Ramsdale in the 18-yard box, who clears it long. Deep into the Brentford half. It's a header won by Pinnock. Helped on by Baptiste on halfway. Norgard can't get there ahead of Jorginho. And it's now with Havertz. Plays it down the right to Ben White, who sees a switch on. And it's a decent ball, but it's been cut out though by Ayer, who just chests it into the hands of Flecken, who throws it back into the path of Ayer on halfway. They need to get it forward quickly. Back into Zanka. Burmo. Clip ball over the top in the box, looking for Lewis Potter. Headed away by Tomiyasu and played forward by Zinchenko to Jorginho. Back into the 18-yard box to Gabriel, who slams it away. Beyond halfway, looking for Nketiah, who slips, and it's been picked up by Zanka. Out to the right to Burmo. In a right wing position, midway side the opposition half. He drives inside. He swings the ball across out to the left to Ben Mee. Lays it off to Baptiste. They've got to get it in the box here. They're running out of time. Clipped in to the far post by Zanka. Ben Mee helps it on. Cleared by Jorginho. Out of play for a throw-in. As the referee still hasn't blown the whistle. One last chance for Brentford to throw this in the box with Ethan Pinnock. Arsenal have won their last 2 games at this stadium. They could make it 3 in a row. They've just got to defend this long throw. In it goes from Pinnock. Misses everyone in red and white. What a shocking throw-in. And it gives Arsenal the 3 points at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It was a very difficult 3 points to gain, but they are the ones that taste the sweetest. Really good win away at Brentford for Arsenal. It's a clean sheet for Aaron Ramsdale, who made a couple of mistakes in the first half. None of them, thankfully for him, leading to goals, but he did show a little bit of nerves. But the second half was a lot better and a lot stronger. He seemed very calm and very with it in the second half, and it helped Arsenal defend strongly to see this through for a 3 points, which puts them top of the Premier League table. In fairness, during the game, Arsenal had all the possession, but it just didn't quite look like the goal was going to come in the second half. Brentford were just very strong in their defence. Cut out spaces, cut out chances, just didn't let Arsenal have a sniff at goal. They only really let Arsenal have half chances. And those half chances didn't really very often challenge the Brentford goalkeeper. Arsenal only conjured 4 shots on target, which kind of tells you the story. 15 shots, 4 on target. They didn't have many big chances, but the one big chance that they were able to create through Martin Ødegaard in the 89th minute was headed home at the far post by Kai Havertz on the angle. He was able to get away from his marker of Godos, got in behind him at the far post, just about headed it in between post and goalkeeper, through the goalkeeper's legs. And Kai Havertz with his second goal in Arsenal colours, both of them away in the Premier League, both in their last 2 wins away in the Premier League, have given Arsenal the 3 points to give them a spot at the top of the Premier League as Arsenal and Arteta go to that corner to celebrate with their supporters. It looks like 3 points that were never going to arrive, but arrive they did. And top of the table they sit at the G-Tech Community Stadium here at Brentford. It ends Brentford 0, Arsenal 1, and it's Havertz with the last minute winner for Arsenal, who's starting to try and repay that £65 million fee they paid for the former Chelsea midfielder. Wasn't one of the classic Premier League games, but it's one that sends Arsenal top of the league, and they are the wins that are hardest to get, but they are the best to experience once you get over the line. It was all about patience tonight for Arsenal, and that's exactly what they were. They showed no showing of frustration or annoyance or panic. They didn't rush anything. They just kept playing the way they play, and eventually the goal came. And the clean sheet has been kept for Aaron Ramsdale. If you did enjoy this live commentary of Brentford against Arsenal in the Premier League, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. 2 commentaries coming up tomorrow. One in the Scottish Premiership, kick-off at 12 o'clock. Aberdeen taking on Rangers. And we are covering the 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League, which sees Everton, who are 19th in the Premier League, sat on 4 points, I believe, after being deducted 10 points due to breaking financial fair play. They welcome the travelling side of Manchester United, who are also looking to try and build on their decent little run they've got going on in the Premier League. You might not think it, but they are 4 wins out of their last 5 for Manchester United. But they'll be going to a very hostile Everton environment at Goodison Park, which is going to be a challenge for United, because Everton are going to be right up for it, as obviously they've got some ground to make up after losing those 10 points. So 2 big commentaries coming tomorrow. 2 commentaries coming, and then we'll have some commentaries next week. So make sure you subscribe, notifications on. I schedule the commentaries that are coming up, so you know which ones are going to come, which commentaries are going to happen before they go live. So you'll know which games I am covering. So if you subscribe and check the channel during the week, you'll see which games I will be doing. But after tonight, Saturday evening game, great commentaries, thank you very much. But after this 5:30 kick-off at the G-Tech Community Stadium, Brentford tried to hold on till the end for a point. Arsenal had other ideas at the far post. Kai Havertz with the header in the 89th minute to give Arsenal a very important 3 points, and it is 3 points which sends them top of the Premier League. And tonight, we finish here. Brentford 0, Arsenal 1.